What you think about when you're born into a fire? Let them burn it out. Sell them to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. Listen up now, because we're never dropping out. Beat the odds, beat the big house. Our brains are bigger than the doubt. We've been thinking for ourselves, never let the truth fade away. This is bigger than ourselves, we won't let the world burn away, burn away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. And we feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway.
Hello, race fans. Welcome back to Freaky Fast Broadcasting. Here tonight, we have the RSR Cup Series here at the Kentucky Speedway. I'm Zach Hall up in the booth, and what a fantastic race we have in store for all you fantastic fans out there on YouTube tonight tuning in. And we want to give a special shout out to all the proud partners here at the Evolution Racing Leagues and Freaky Fast Broadcasting. First, we want to give a shout out to Or Nissan Central, the leading Nissan dealership in Oklahoma City. You can go check out their website at www.ornissancentral.com. Next, we have Sheffield Graphics, the leading designer in sim racing paint schemes and liveries. It was founded by a Navy veteran, and a portion of every paint goes to the Military Foundation's Folds of Honor. It's a great nonprofit organization who gives sponsorships to the families of fallen soldiers and disabled veterans. So make sure to go check them out on Facebook under Sheffield Graphics and tell them Freaky Fast Broadcasting sent you. Next, we have ButtKicker. Feel what you've been missing. Every game deserves a truly immersive experience. The ButtKicker Gamer 2 lets you feel every detail, from the subtle footsteps to the rumble of a V10 powered race car, from the ambient environmental effects to the power even of a nearby explosion. By moving a physical mass instead of only air, the Gamer 2 provides an instant, accurate, powerful base response, and it's all perfectly synced with every game with no additional software required. So make sure you go to ButtKicker.com to check out their ButtKicker Gamer 2 and any other product they have there in store. And you can get 20% off by using Freaky Fast 20 as our promo code to get 20% off there, like I said, at ButtKicker.com. And that's any purchase. So make sure to use that Freaky Fast 20, and that's Freaky Fast with 2 E's in the Freaky. So make sure to go check out those proud partners here at the Evolution Racing Leagues and Freaky Fast Broadcasting. But what a race we have in store for all you fans here tonight. Man, I tell you what, Brandon, you're joining me up here in the booth. That's Brandon Colley. Sorry for the little bit of a lame introduction there for you. But we got Robert Moore Jr. also running the cameras. But, man, I'm so excited about this race. I want to get straight into it. We got Kentucky here tonight in the Cup Series here. It's getting down to the gritty part of the season with the playoffs about to kick off, man. What can we expect here tonight? Do we expect to see something different?
Well, I think we're going to see a lot of the same front runners up here battling it out. A little bit of a point shakeup last week with a couple top runners not making the race, that being Curtis Preston and Travis Everett, allowing their teammate GT Irizarry to inherit the points lead. And so far in practice, I've been watching them run around here pretty much together, just trying to learn a little bit. And times on the board, Curtis Preston sitting in third, pretty good. So I imagine we're going to see him up there. But also Dustin Stallings, he's been on top of the practice for as long as I've been sitting here watching these guys, as well as Matthew Rush showing his speed as well. So again, same front runners, side-by-side racing here. There's a lot of speed to be found at Kentucky in these Cup cars with the amount of downforce and grip that they seem to have here. You can hold it wide open for a long time, and you're going to be pretty hard-pressed to make a pass pretty easily late in the run, especially. I think the tires going to be a big factor here, and see if you can get that undercut and maybe just try to use that dirty air to stay ahead here. Going to have to keep an eye on pit stops.
Yeah, that's going to be a huge factor, is that dirty air and track position all night as you're watching the 93 of Dustin Stallings fastest in practice so far in that 93. Only man in the 28-second bracket at the moment, with about a little less than 2 minutes to go here in this practice before we head into the 5-minute qualifying session to see who can bring home that Sheffield Graphics pole. But with our stages tonight at lap 35 and 70, we got a 60% fuel load, Brandon. What are we thinking about there for strategy? Do you think these guys can make it 35 laps?
Well, based on what we saw in the ARCA series just a little while ago with a 50% fuel load, they could at least make 30 laps. Saw some guys stretch it to even 33, so 60 we're definitely going to be able to get to the end of these stages. But I think the pit window is going to be right around 40 to 42 laps. Once we get into that final stretch of the race, that 70-lap stretch after the conclusion of stage 2. Look for some guys trying to stretch it maybe a little bit too far to get a caution and put themselves a little bit ahead of everybody else and not get trapped down. Some guys trying to try that undercut and see if they can make up a little bit of time. But I believe that magic number, like I said, somewhere about 40 to 42 laps.
Well, with 34 seconds left here in practice, man, this season has been fantastic so far. And like you said, GT Irizarry taking over that points lead from teammate Curtis Preston after not making it last week to Watkins Glen, and same for Travis Everett. Both those drivers back out on the racetrack tonight. So great to have those two top contenders out there. But GT Irizarry taking over the points lead. But remember, no points paying win to his name. Has the Bristol All-Star race win, but no points paying win. He definitely wants to check that off. And I'm telling you what, Brandon, this feels like a GT type of racetrack. I can see that 14 sitting in victory lane, even though he's still sitting low on the leaderboard right here. I wouldn't take this practice times for much worth. That guy's going to be super strong when this race kicks off.
Yeah, it's you've really got to adapt to the way that the track changes and be really patient, especially just the way that turn 3 and 4 is here. It's a lot flatter, going to use up a lot more tire. It rewards that patience and being able to back up the corner early on, not try to grab too much too early, and you find your way to the front with a little bit fresher tires. And GT is just the man to do that type of driving, to find himself up at the front in the late goings here and really keep up with the track.
We're looking at Hunter Hayward go around this 1.5 mile racetrack here in Kentucky. And this racetrack is definitely an interesting one, Brandon, here as they're entering qualifying. Definitely a place that has changed up a lot since we've gotten this new repave. And what would you say is the biggest difference these drivers are facing here tonight compared to what we used to experience in Kentucky? And what do you feel like this track produces, really?
Well, I think the biggest difference is mainly in 1 and 2. It's a lot narrower of a corner, but it's also a lot more stable. The inside of that corner used to stretch almost to the inside wall there. Just had a slim lane for cars to exit pit road. Now got quite a lot of apron room there. Really sends the line up to about where it used to be, about mid way through the corner. And you can hold it wide open for a lot after a set of 4 tires on a restart, especially. Guys are going to be side by side there jockeying for position. And I think, the biggest thing is that since this repave, 3 and 4 was already pretty difficult, but now it's gotten even more so. But at the same time, it seems like multiple lanes have kind of formed there late in the run that you're able to take advantage of and see where your car is feeling a little bit better.
Well, some lap time is rolling in at the moment. Oh, close times up top there. The 4800 Hayward going to the top of the board at a 29-127, only 2 thousandths quicker than last series champion Curtis Preston. There goes Matthew rushing the 11. That 11 definitely looking for a good run there with the speed he's been showing these past 5 or 6 weeks.
Yeah, slowly getting more and more speed each and every week. It seems like we talk about just that for that 11 machine of Matthew Rush, and now looking to put it on the top of the board here to start Kentucky and hopefully come away with a good finish here, but still a little bit of time in qualifying. A couple guys yet to put up a time. Travis Everett, his first lap though, only 200 slower. That does not bode well for the 11.
The lap time difference separating our top 6 less than 1/10 of a second here at a mile and a half in Kentucky. That is impressive to see. And right now, man, Matthew Rush with a 200th gap there over Travis Everett. He is looking to bring home this Sheffield Graphics Pole Award. I think he's got a good chance here, Brandon. Maybe we could see Junior Miller in the 28 or the 25, or Ryan Bean, possibly last week's winner, the league leader in the season leader in wins with 3 wins. So Ryan Bean possibly that 25, see what he can do in qualifying. We definitely got some heavy hitters still left here.
Yeah, I was looking at the points in the win column there and realizing that Ryan Bean had the most wins of anybody in the league. It caught me by surprise. He's not somebody that we talk about each and every week up here, just dominating races, leading a ton of laps. But the fact that he's got more wins than anybody else, he's just lurking and just waiting for his opportunity to strike, and is taking advantage of a lot of really good opportunities and tracks that he's really comfortable in. Update on Travis Everett, that was his second lap. Had me really concerned there for a second. He was waited a little bit longer to go out and qualify, and I thought they were rubbing some stick 'em on those tires. But second place looking for Travis Everett. Now Ryan Bean starting his second lap here, currently 13th on the board, tied even with the 28 for 12th position now with a 29.29. See if he can top that time here on his second lap.
He should be able to pick up here. I think this lap could be good. We'll have to see what it produces here off the exit of turn 4, coming to the start finish line this time. And that's a 29.36.5, not faster. He'll stay in that 13th position, and you can see to his displeasure, he puts that car to the wall.
Yeah, I think Ryan Bean's feeling like he left a little bit out there. 13th position, right about mid-pack, not terrible, but based on that reaction, I think he feels he can get a little bit more out of it.
Well, looks like all 29 drivers have took time here, Brandon. As we got less than 10 seconds to go. Let's say Matthew Rush will be our Sheffield Graphics pole winner. After we go through our grid here, once qualifying officially ends, we'll bring him up here and have a chat with him about his lap there to put him up top. And there it is, officially over. Matthew Rush is your Sheffield Graphics pole winner, as we'll bring up our starting grid here tonight for 140 laps here at Kentucky. Matthew Rush will start from that Sheffield Graphics pole. Second's going to go to Travis Everett. Third's going to be Hunter Hayward. Fourth's going to be last series champion Curtis Preston. Fifth's going to be Dustin Stalling. Sixth, Nathan Campbell. Seventh, GT Arizari. Eighth is going to be Trevor Massetti. Ninth is Harold Watkins. And 10th is Stephen Baldwin.
Well, 11th place is going to be the 81 of Jeff Carson after a wicked grind in the ARCA Series, hoping not to replicate that tonight in the Cup Series. J.R. Miller going to be in 12th, Ryan Bean 13th, Andrew Little 14th, Brock Potter in the 4th and 15th position, James Catrone in 16th, Casey Kuntz 17th, Nolan Potter 18th, Tony Ludi 19th, and Ryan Azale rounding out your top 20.
21st going to be Kevin Sabilla. 22nd, Adam Buzzio. 23rd is Bob Fitzpatrick. 24th, Kevin Dowd. 25th, Chad Biesinger. 26th, David Hall. 27th, Kevin Zabaldil. 28th, Anthony Younes. And rounding out your field in the 29th position is Marc-Andre Thibodeau in the 27th machine, the 29th position. As that is our starting grid here tonight for the RSR Cup Series here at the Kentucky 140. Let's bring up our Sheffield Graphics pole winner from Clutch Motorsports, the man Matthew Rush, up here to chat with Brandon Colley about his Sheffield Graphics pole.
Hey, Matthew, it's Brandon up in the booth. You got a copy, bud?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Well, Matthew, congratulations grabbing that Sheffield Graphics pole win here at Kentucky. We seem to talk about you each and every week, just getting better and better as these races go on, as we get later into the season. You know, do you feel like it's just taking a little bit through the season to kind of get more comfortable, or are you making some adjustments here to find the speed?
Yeah, maybe a little bit of both. I think a lot of guys got a lot faster, so I'm just struggling to keep up with the group. Just doing my best there.
Well, as it looks right now, they're going to be struggling to keep up with you, starting from the front row here. We looked at your fuel load here, got 60% fuel load in this thing. Do you guys have plenty to go through these stages here? What's the fuel window looking like?
Yeah, we shouldn't have a problem making it through the stages.
Well, it's good to know, bud. We'll keep an eye on all of these pit strategies going on here. Got to wish you the best of luck. Let you get back down there, get ready to go green here, and hopefully we'll talk to you in one of these stages, or possibly even the win at the end of this thing.
That sounds good, guys. Thank you.
All right, that was your Sheffield Graphics pole winner of Matthew Rush. As you heard, they're definitely trying to figure out as the season went on. Remember, he was a Final Four contender last season, and yeah, just hasn't had the season he wants up to this point. I mean, he is 6th in the points, but just 1 top 5 and 4 top 10s with wins last season. I think he can come out here and definitely shock, the field here and get a win again. I mean, this guy's got speed. We know that.
Absolutely, and just looking to start stringing together those good finishes that you need to gain a lot of points, especially when it comes down to crunch time to the start of the playoffs and into the playoffs especially.
It's getting down to that time of the year, favorite time of the year here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. It's going to be playoff time soon, but not yet tonight. Our pace car is going to pull off into the pit road, and Barney's going to get ready to wave that flag for our green flag here tonight. Looking as they go into the restart zone. There it is, green flag in the air. Matthew Rush away. Great restart from the bottom lane there as Rush powers forward with Hayward in the 48, sliding up to second. That's going to push Everett back to that third position, with Preston now getting attacked by the 93 of Dustin Stallings.
And Dustin Stallings, the leader in practice here, not the best qualifying effort, but I am sure he will make quick work and try to get to the front before too long. Like you said, you can be pretty aggressive on these fresher tires. They're going to take a little while to come up to temp, as we see Preston getting loose outside of Stallings there.
Oh, and look at this. Hayward even making a move for the lead. Same thing there. The leader, Matthew Rush, makes a wiggle. Curtis Preston, our champion from last season, makes a wiggle also. They both drop back positions. Preston taking the worst of it as Rush back to second. Look at Hayward start to pull the gap here out front. Can't burn them tires up, but 35 laps is not a full run. You definitely can push a little bit harder than what you would need for a full run.
And it looks like Dustin Stallings getting into the wall off of 2 this time by. A little bit of wrinkle on the right front of that 93 machine. And the biggest issue there, Zach, is it will really shake you up when you have a moment like that at the start of this race here. And you tend to kind of lose your confidence a little bit. And even Dustin Stallings again getting loose on the inside now, trying to save the car. Does. And now GT's going to pass him for that 4th position. But you kind of overdrive at that point. It scares you a little bit. It takes you a little bit to get comfortable again and feel like you can start pushing the car.
Yeah, and looking at that, I thought he might have caught the apron, but it was just the car over-rotating there through the center. And you're definitely seeing that 93 kind of struggle after leading practice. And he's trying to hold his own here as Massetti behind him. But he's just really loose in 1 and 2, and he slides up the racetrack again there, Brandon. This is going to open the door for Massetti. And here's Curtis Preston after his mistake on lap 1, trying to take advantage with Campbell right behind also.
And I think that may just be how much... Ooh, is Massetti getting big loose behind him as well? Man, these guys seem to be really struggling with the rear end snapping loose. I think it's just the track cooling down so much. It's taken so much longer for these tires to really build up the air temps that you need to really start getting those good, solid, comfortable lap times that we're looking for. And these guys maybe just trying to push a little bit too early here compared to what they were able to do in practice.
Yeah, this is it kind of caught me off guard a little bit, Brandon. Here, the way the balance is looking for these cars. Definitely a few drivers struggling for the rear tires right now, and if you're Hunter Hayward, you're definitely liking being out front with nobody in front of you, having to scare you with some slides there quickly. As look at this, here's the two teammates battling slide job racing for this third position. GT thought about looking down the inside. Here goes Everett up the racetrack. Here comes Irizarry to the bottom. Does he give it to his teammate? Now this corner here in 3 and 4 does have some multi-groove racing to it.
Yeah, the outside you can really defend with pretty well, and if you take care of your stuff, you can work a guy over for a couple laps on the inside there and finally make the pass. But if you overdrive just a little bit, the opportunity that you're going to have on the inside is really going to go away. You're just not going to be able to rotate quite as well as you need to get the power down to be able to make that pass. And I've got to point out another thing that they're going to be struggling with, especially if you're having, it looks like a snap loose condition. These guys aren't really gradually losing the rear end. It just seems like all of a sudden it's gone. And I think a lot of that is these guys dealing with dirty air too, having to put that little bit of extra wheel into it with how much speed and throttle you can carry in these corners. And it's starting to snap the rear ends off from center off.
Looking at the 81 of Jeff Carson, riding on board with him. He's trying to fight his way up past Curtis Preston, a full-time driver here. And for Jeff Carson, that's a great run after the ARCA race, having a huge hit there that we talked about. He's in this 8th position right now from 11th, man. He's showing that maybe he's a driver worthy of the Cup Series driver.
Well, we saw how good he was at Charlotte, coming back to another mile and a half here, looking to carry on the momentum that he had there from his rebound, even with the damage coming up to, I believe, he made it into the top 3 just at the end there to salvage a good finish. So carrying that momentum and now inside the top 10 with a couple guys ahead of him that look to be struggling pretty badly compared to himself.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of battling going on right there around the 88 and the 93. Stallings and Massetti, as Massetti tried everything. Stallings going to get by him, slide up into the 5th position. Here comes Curtis Preston. A little bit pressure on Massetti here from the 6th position now, and it's kind of like, looks like Massetti's trying to get freight train a little bit. Oh wow, Preston slides up in front of him. Massetti might have cut him a little bit of a break there.
Yeah, I absolutely think that was a big break. It looked like Preston got a little bit loose as well as he tried to make that move to cover the nose of the 88 there. Massetti realizing, hey man, we're only on lap 10. There's no reason for me to push the issue here. Backed out of it, tries to go back on the attack now through turn 3. Lost a little bit of ground. Now going to be looking to the inside of Jeff Carson to the 88, but just a little bit wide on entry. Going to lose a little bit of time.
I tell you what, one driver really having early right now some issues, I believe, is the 22 of Harold Watkins. Back to the 21st position, started from 9th in that 22 machine, and he's back here right behind Bob Fitzpatrick, who's up 3 spots from his starting position up to 20th. Looks like he's going to get to the inside here of him, but with the qualifying speed he had, definitely not the greatest start after 12 laps to be losing that many spots.
Well, Zach, looking at the rear end of the 22, I think he had some help finding his way back there. He's got some damage. Looked like somebody at some point had gotten into the back of him. I don't know if he got loose and they just couldn't check up in time, but he didn't wreck, so I got to imagine that was one whale of a save.
It's very possible that it was that little condition of looseness, him getting loose, maybe someone runs in the back of him. Happens very easily. Doesn't look like too much damage on that rear, so it's definitely a little bit, but it could be a lot worse. So he's trying to recover right now. That 22 is he's running that 21st position in front of Tony Ludy in the 13, Chad Buchner and Kevin Dowd. As the field is kind of getting somewhat spread out here, Brandon, I would say. I mean, already 13 seconds back to the 29th place car, 14 laps into this race. The dirty air might be playing a good factor here.
Yeah, and the times have already fallen off for our front runners a second from what their fastest laps of the race were. So, it's just a huge discrepancy on the speeds that these guys have been able to find here on the track. And uh, with the dirty air and just the lane, especially 1 and 2, where it's a lot more single file early part of the run, where everybody can almost run wide open through turns 1 and 2. Everybody just finds their way single file and just tries to see what they can find, where they can save a little bit, where they can gain a little bit over the guy ahead of them. And I was just about to say we're going to get a green flag run, and there's a caution.
And just as you were thinking it, here is the first Or Nissan Central caution of the night here on lap number 15, start at number 16. And we'll go back here on the replay and check out exactly what happened here to bring out our first caution of the night. As here's the Freaky Fast broadcast and replay looking back here through the field. You see there's the 68 of Andrew. Oh, it looks like, James Cortrone.
Getting word from guys on track, they said that he may have lost connection there. It may have been a connection issue that caused his car to veer off as it did into the wall. James has not lost connection to the server just yet, so I have to see what happens there. Great job, everybody in that backpack, to avoid him as he was sitting in the mid lane there as well.
Yeah, that was definitely interesting. Like some connection and some issues going on down the back straightaway for Catrone. And man, it just all broke loose there for him. Luckily, nobody else involved. And I tell you what, Brock Potter, he probably had his life flash before his eyes because he kind of ghosted right through it.
Yeah, he got a lucky break there, just the way that James came back across the track to not have that car really do any damage when he got to it to the 4 there. So lucky break for Brock. Hopefully gonna take that one to the bank a little bit later. Maybe go get a lottery ticket.
Yeah, you might want to cash that one in there, man. I'll tell you what. But this caution here kind of brings us into an interesting point here. I mean, 4 sets of tires to start this race, so we got 3 in the pits. I'd imagine then the way this is going to play out, you're going to take your set at stage 1, take your set at stage 2, and then have 1 set for a green flag stop, possibly, or at some point, a stop during that final stage. So right here, everybody's going to most likely stay out, or does someone come top off with fuel and do something different next stage? I don't know.
Well, the only reason I could think that you'd want to top off on fuel here is to help with a tight condition, but these guys are looking pretty loose as it is. Even with a full fuel load, it's still tight, so putting it back to full, it's not going to help that too much, especially if you're not getting tires. You're going to just have to deal with more dirty air, putting yourself in the back of the pack with not really much advantage. I would say the conservative approach is what you just said, Zach. Wait until the stage breaks and then having that 1 set for the green flag stop that you're going to have to make at the end of this race, that 70-lap stint we're going to have to close out the race. But if you're an aggressive type, maybe you want to try to get those stage points. If something happens toward the end of the stage, maybe consider coming into pit there and maybe making up some track position and staying out during the stage break. Depending on how close it is to the end of that stage, you may just be able to make it all the way to the end of the next stage on fuel.
Well, another thing I'm thinking here is these guys we could see something like Kevin Zabadil did there at Charlotte, where he doesn't take tires. You don't take tires during the first stage. Take tires on the second stage, and you got an extra set for everybody in that final stage. If you get an extra caution in there at the end, you take that set and you drive through the field and win the thing. I mean, Zabadil made the winning formula for that. I think someone else out here needs to execute. The only thing is just got to have the pace to stay on the lead lap with the older tires.
And what we saw so far is that the fall off was already a second, about 13 laps into a run. So fresh tires late in the race, that could be the winning strategy.
Who's going to play it? We'll have to see. Stage 1 not over yet. Pace car's in. Hunter Hayward off and away early in the restart zone. He gets a great start. That's going to let Everett pull dead even with Rush. And I tell you what, they're closing up to the back bumper. Hayward as they enter 1 directly on that bumper.
Well, looks like guys are a little bit more stable now that the tires have kind of gone through a heat cycle and going to be building up the heat a little bit quicker here. But Hunter, based on the jump that he got, I figured he'd have a much bigger lead than he's got now. But Travis Everett all over the rear end of the 48 for the lead.
All over the back bumper of Hunter Hayward is Travis Everett, second place man in the championship last season. He's looking to rectify that here as he enters into one. He's going to back it up, see if he can set something up here. He's going a little bit older tires here, so he can't exactly, make his passes as easily as you would want to. But here, 20 laps into the stage, look at this. Everett goes high. Here comes Stallings in the 93. Can't count him out. Always a great driver when it comes to long runs. He's coming into the picture as this tire run continues.
Yeah, nice rebound from his very loose condition. Probably, I think, the driver we saw loosest on the initial start of this race here. Able to gather it back together. Ooh, clips the apron there, but going to push a little bit wide, give up a little bit of time. But still very much underneath him in that 93. Still running pretty good pace, too. Hasn't allowed these two ahead of him to pull out. Pretty even gap between the three of them amongst each other.
Yeah, I was worried for a second for Hayward there. He had Everett all over the back bumper, but he seemed to stabilize, get this car length gap lead, and somewhat keep it and just maintain it and put Everett into a position where he's got to run in his wake or he needs to find something else to work. And so far, not making none of that happen as it's staying about a one car length gap for that lead.
Well, I would have to say, Zach, exactly what you talked about there. I think there's a slight tire advantage for the 48, not really having to deal with too much dirty air throughout the race, whereas Travis Everett, Dustin Stallings, and the like behind them have had to deal with dirty air the entire run so far. And Travis Everett got to the back bumper, but then as the tires got more up to temp, that dirty air seems to just kind of create a bubble that he's having a hard time getting through to get to the back bumper of the 48. Gonna have to figure out a different lane, maybe try something a little bit different, see if he can gain something. He's trying to go out of the dirty air, but Hunter is kind of anticipating where he's going and keeping that dirty air all over the nose of the 59.
Now, is that something as a driver, Brandon? Are you doing that? Is Hayward driving, looking in his mirror, seeing where he's positioned his car to possibly take away any air from that guy? Is that something you use as a driver?
I think it depends a lot on how much you think that dirty air affects you at any individual track. In this track specifically, it would absolutely be something that I'd do if I had the pace to stay ahead of the guy and felt maybe that he was a little bit of a threat. If he got by me, I wouldn't be able to catch him or keep up with him. Just try to do what you can to anticipate his lane and see if you can make that slow him down just a little bit. Maybe have him burn his stuff up just a little bit more and make it that much easier for you to stay ahead. But there is a problem. If you get too caught up in doing that, you can burn your stuff up just by awkward entry angles, getting back to the gas a little bit too soon. You can kind of overdrive without realizing that you're overdriving or even trying to overdrive to do that, and it can cost you in the long run.
It's a very valid point you bring up, but look at this back here. Ryan Ezel in the 5 battling through this in the 17th position. He's got Bob Fitzpatrick there around him, also with Adam Buzzio, Nolan Potter. Nolan Potter was also driving. I'm kind of surprised Nolan Potter hasn't performed as well here tonight. As look at that, ahead of Fitzpatrick side by side with Junior Miller up ahead. So, yeah, great battling going on there. But, man, Nolan Potter's a driver. I expected to do a little better here tonight with that 1.5 mile speed he's had winning at Las Vegas. Just not the night for that 34.
Yeah, it just seems to be having a rough time trying to figure out what he needs to do to find his speed again, like just running behind this big pack of cars and getting back through the field. It seems like the farther back you start, just the harder it is to figure out what you need to do, because the car doesn't really seem to handle the same from any corner to the next, just depending on how many guys you got battling ahead of you.
Man, what a battle is right here with Harold Watkins in the middle of that, the 22. You got Chad Biesinger, the 23. You got David Hall in the 21. I mean, they are all going at it. Adam Buzzio, 3 wide. I mean, there for seconds. I mean, it is really hard battles back here from about the 16th position on back to about 21st.
And you see, they were battling side by side, 2 rows, about 3 deep, and then almost 3 wide at points, and then suddenly, everything's single file again.
This is something I see out there in the driver chat is Adam Buzzio in the 55 he has lost his audio, Brandon. And how, this is actually a huge effect. I mean, you would think, okay, I mean, you could drive around the circle without audio, but how much does the audio really help with the sound of the car and the sound of the race cars moving?
Well, I will tell you, as a driver that only uses a single monitor, my field of view being very limited, I rely so heavily on the sounds that I'm getting from around my car. You get the audible cues from your engine. It gives you a rough indicator of when you need to start lifting for a corner, maybe when you need to brake. You get the engines from the cars around you, and it gives you an idea of exactly how close they are without having to look, and allow you to anticipate where they're going to be running a little bit better, how much room you can maybe afford to not give. And also, especially with the handling conditions we've seen so far, you can hear your tires squealing and scrubbing against the track to let you know if you're overdriving a little bit. If your car may be about to break loose, if you're right on the edge of that grip, not having that, it's like losing one of your senses. I mean, it quite literally is losing one of your senses as a race car driver, but you utilize it so much more as a sim racer that it's such a handicap. If he can rebound off of this and get a really good finish with no audio, I'll be quite impressed.
Very tough thing to do for that 55 Adam Buzzio. So he tries his best. Wow, and he's battling too, man. Oh, little contact between him and Harold Watkins. That's the thing. Like, he's just got to react off his sight, and the field was blue right there. I'm sure that scared him.
Yeah, it's just not being able to hear your front tire. Maybe like, okay, I'm going in a little bit too hot. I'm about to push up here, and just not realizing it. Maybe not having that force feedback in the wheel strong enough to tell him, okay, we're losing grip here. Maybe need to roll out of the throttle. Doesn't look like it hurt him or Harold Watkins too bad there. Harold coming over to apologize. I guess he thought he was at fault for that one. But no harm, no foul there. Everybody keeps it going.
English drivers going forward is the 3 of Bob Fitzpatrick. He is really putting down some great laps right now. And I tell you what, I'm not sure, did he pit?
He did. On lap 16, he pit 21.9 second pit time for the 3 here. I believe he may have taken those tires.
He did. That's an interesting call. That's definitely something that I would not expect. But I tell you what, he hasn't got to go much longer as he's catching the 81 of Jeff Carson here, trying to put himself up to 6 as Carson having a heck of a run. Now it slides him back to 7th with Ryan being last week's winner. They're directly behind the 8th position. But Hunter Hayward out front with a second lead. He's going to be coming out of 4 this time to take the white flag here, Brandon, for the stage.
And Hunter Hayward now taking the white flag. And the biggest issue for Bob Fitzpatrick on those fresher tires, he's still running equal lap times to what our leader's running on older tires. I think this is not going to pay off very well for Bob Fitzpatrick once these guys come into pit.
35 laps complete here, almost in the books, as they're going to come through 3 and 4 for the final time here in stage number 1. Hunter Hayward, I tell you what, great run here in stage 1, showing pace here for the long haul, and he comes out of 4 after starting 3rd. He's going to win stage number 1 for the 48 car.
Very nearly had an incident there coming to take the checkered for the stage. I think Nolan Potter got the short end of the stick on that one. I believe that was a 68 Andrew Little as well. Hearing some radio communication about some sorries there, maybe a little bit of a push up into somebody.
Yeah, and I think that may have happened at. Oh yeah, that happened there on that last lap down on 1 and 2 between those two battling for about the 13th, 14th position. So yeah, it's definitely battling for contact, but Hunter Hayward going to win stage 1 here tonight, and he's got to be happy with that. I mean, think about the 48 came into the season, got the full-time ride, and got the win right out of the early gates, and has had speed each week. I mean, I feel like we've talked about him, as one of the top contenders each and every week since he's become a full-time driver, and now winning stage number 1 here tonight. I like the way the pace looked there at the end. That was really impressive. I was starting to worry about him there a little bit. I was going to worry when they restarted there. Did he burn his stuff up? But, man, he made it work there on that long run, and he drove away.
Yeah, and that's the big worry. You see a guy pulling out a gap, you're wondering how much he's abusing his tires to do that. And Hunter just seemed to do a really good job taking care of it while also being fast. able to stretch the gap over the 59 of Travis Everett. We'll have to see once they make these pit stops now if Travis can make some adjustments to figure out what he's doing to maintain that long run pace and not let anybody pull too far away.
Well, as they come down pit road, you see the 59 Travis Everett all over the back bumper of the 48 saying, trying to go that speed limit. Everett there, who qualified second, Hayward third. That's always an awkward spot there. And I'd never like being the guy that has to lead or follow into that sequence of pit stops because it always seems like something can happen there easy.
It's funny because even though you're going the speed limit for pit road, it seems like the guy is going a little bit faster than you, running directly behind you there. It can kind of trip you up into speeding and catching a penalty there, but great job for Hunter. I gotta say, it looked like Travis Everett took 2 tires.
I'm interested. It looks like the 48 took 4, while a bunch of guys took none, like Stallings, Irizarry. They're doing the Zablody almost strategy. So, man, interesting stuff. But we're going to have to bring up our stage winner here and let him get a talk with Brandon Colley to see what his thoughts are on winning stage number 1 here tonight for Hunter Hayward and 48.
Hunter Hayward, Brandon up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
Well, man, it's a great first stage there. Qualified third and able to get by Matthew Rush pretty early. Caution there. Looked like after that restart, you were kind of being a bit aggressive to put the dirty air on the nose of Travis Everett there. Do you think that dirty air is playing a huge factor here and just hindering a guy's speed?
Well, most definitely. I know we have a really good car coming into today, but on that restart, I knew Travis Everett, really fast car today and every week. So I actually tried to get a jump in the restart, and I tried to put my shifter in the 3rd gear, and it went straight to neutral. So I had to back it out and put it back into 3rd gear. And Everett was right on my bumper, and I know how strong dirty air is here, so I did try to give him as much dirty air as I could. And by the end of that run, I could tell that it definitely killed his stuff, and I was pulling away. And we have a really strong car today, so I'm looking forward to these next couple of stages.
Well, good job avoiding disaster there, only going to neutral and not getting a money shift to end your night a little bit early. But taking 4 tires there, some of the guys ahead of you not taking any. Should be able to find your way around them, but are you concerned about not having an extra set late in the race if maybe we get a caution during that last 70 laps?
I'm not too concerned. I know it's Kentucky. It's pretty hard to cause a caution here rather than Charlotte when we saw a couple teammates do some crazy strategies there. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. But we're just gonna stay patient all day. I know we have a really good car. Looking forward to it. I'd just like to thank all my teammates, my sponsors, everybody out there who's just put me on the track out today, and hopefully we will get a top 3 by the end of this baby.
All right, man, let you get back down there and get focused for this next stage. Wish you the best of luck. Maybe we'll talk to you for stage 2 and possibly the win. Best of luck, man.
Thank you, sir.
All right, there you heard it from the stage 1 winner of Hunter Hayward in the 48 machine. He's able to bring home that victory here in stage 1, but he's got to start in 5th. And he's going to have 3 cars of Travis Everett, GT Irizarry, and Dustin Stallings yet to take tires in front of him. And Fitzpatrick taking the tires on the first caution of the race. And, man, this is definitely going to be an interesting restart here. Got to be smart if you're Hayward and the guys on new tires.
Absolutely. That was going to be my point, is that Hunter has to know he's going to pass them. He just cannot be too aggressive and cause an issue trying to do that. Just a lot of patience and know that it's going to happen. Don't need to lead every single lap here, but Hunter's really fast. He's got a lot of experience for as young as he is here, running with a lot of fast guys. So expect him to not take too many chances here and be at the front before too long.
We'll have to see what he can do. Curtis Preston behind him also on 4 tires in that 29 machine. So we'll see which drivers this all plays out for, but we got some strategies being played. If the cautions work out, I think that strategy, saving the tires, will come back to be a very valid strategy. Pace car in. Here we go, getting stage number 2 ready to kick off. Bob Fitzpatrick in the restart zone. Green flag in the air, and we're off and away as Fitzpatrick leads him to the line. Everett with a good start sliding down in front of Irizarry. Same with Stallings. Here comes Hayward on the bottom, though, with those new tires. Got to be patient as he's going to catch right to the back bumper of that 14 very quickly.
And yeah, Hunter got a really good jump on the guys behind him with the fresh tires. They were a little bit sleeping on that restart. Going to have to make up some ground now. But Hunter kind of blazing the trail. These guys are all going to be on the high side as he goes around him. And all these guys on the fresh tires are going to be following suit right along with him.
Yeah, and he's already up to that second position, 2-for-1 deal there down in the 3 and 4. Now closing into the 3 of Bob Fitzpatrick. He's going to cover off that bottom as Hayward's not going to have it yet, but he should be able to power off the exit, get right to the back bumper of the 3. They're wrecking behind. Stallings going around the 93, wrecking. He spins up in front of traffic. Huge wreck on the back straightaway.
Oh
no. That is some hit there on the 93, and what a end to a night for Dustin Stallings, as that's going to bring out our third caution of the night, brought to you by Or Nissan Central. Second wreck of the night, and man, this one had major implications, and we see a similar thing with the 93 getting loose here as we'll go back on the Freaky Fast replay, and he was getting loose there, and then I also believe just a little contact between him and Curtis Preston, and that kind of finished it off there for the 93 of Stallings. And man, unfortunate for him. And I tell you what, other drivers taking heavy licks out there. Looks like the 77 or 78, sorry, Kevin Sabilla. Looks like also it was Trevor Bassetti, I believe, who also caught piece of it also, and man, it was a scary wreck, and a lot more drivers could have been involved than what initially was.
Yeah, there's looking at that at the start, just a little bit loose, and the closing rate for Curtis Preston there on the fresher tires. Stallings had it saved. He just got it back corrected where he's going to be able to get it straight on the straightaway, and then Curtis had gotten there and finished it off for him. But bad break there. Couple guys getting a good bit of damage. Other guys just getting a little bit of a scuff. Just being able to sweep by without significant damage there. Gonna have to look at some of them and see exactly who all tallied into that. But by far the worst is going to be Dustin Stallings.
I'll tell you what, Harold Watkins, he missed him by an inch. I mean, that guy literally, like, that was the Matrix for him. It was pretty crazy how the 22 Harold Watkins even got through that. Congrats to him. But unfortunate for Dustin Stallings, what speed he was showing as he was putting pressure on Everett for second when Hayward won that stage. So I think he had some possibly, but just not the luck he needed tonight with that little bit of a loose condition on the start of the runs. It seems like he needed the time to get the tires up the temp. Just didn't have it, and caution number 3, there it was.
Well, bad luck for Stallings, but also Jeff Carson getting a big piece of that heavy damage to the nose of the 81, unfortunately. Gonna take quite a while to get that fixed, I believe. Not the night Jeff Carson was looking for by any means either.
It's just sometimes it's not your night, Brandon, where it's just everything goes wrong. I mean, you just seem like you try to stay away from stuff, but stuff seems to find you. And those nights are nights you want to crawl into your bed and just grab your blanket and put it over your head and just go to sleep.
I can hear the humor in your voice while you're saying that, and don't I know it?
I know you know it. We know that here. Golly knows the pain and the sorrow.
It is very deep.
Locked on heat-seeking missile target for every car out on the track. But one day you will not become that heat-seeking target. So I'll tell you what, man, you can do this, and everybody, it's just some days it's just racing, man. Racing is a tough business, and that's the thing with sim racing that a lot of people don't get. That you need to check out iRacing if you've never done it. It's so realistic with the emotions of the racing, like just the raw intensity of it. That is all real, you know. None of that is fake. But it's definitely just something I think every person should experience at least once and just say, man, wow, that's pretty hard actually, surprisingly. And a lot of people would think turning in circles is pretty easy, Brandon. But turning circles is not always easy.
Yeah, we all know the running joke about stock cars and all that. Not going to go into it, but you know what? At the very least, try out iRacing, and you can say, you know what? I got to turn laps in a Cup car at Kentucky or Bristol or Martinsville, Texas Motor Speedway, and it's the closest thing that you can get without having that car, being in that car, starting the engine, and by far a lot cheaper than doing any of that.
Well, we're going to get them lined back up, man. Here I go, set them back ablaze on the racetrack. With Bob Fitzpatrick leading, this race has been great up to this point, and I can only expect more here from stage number 2. As man, it'd be really cool to get a new winner. I mean, we've had so many winners this season. It's been a fantastic season so far here at the RSR. Playoffs are going to get only better, so don't miss those coming soon.
Well, we've got Matthew Rush sitting here in 9th position. A little bit of damage, not the best start of the race he wanted, but still inside the top 10 here. Imagine we might see the 11 start to slowly chip his way through the guys ahead of him here, try to crack back into the top 5 and see what he can get after that.
A lot of drivers trying to make their way through. Brock Potter won up from 15th to 8th. Look at Marc-Andre Thibodeau, 29th to 10th. A lot of drivers moving through the field, getting positions the way they like it, and the pace car is going to pull in. That's the way we like it, as we're going to go back green flag racing here. Bob Fitzpatrick into the restart zone. Green flag back out as he takes off and leads us down to the start-finish line. Hayward, not the greatest start, but remember, he's on the freshest tires as he goes down to turn 1 with Everett there on the inside.
Gonna have Everett cleared off here. Got a really big run on Bob Fitzpatrick last time. We saw just about made contact and stick it to the inside. Bob apologized. I think he maybe got a little bit loose out of the corner, but easily gonna have that pass.
Wrecking in the back as the caution will come out here for the 4th time tonight, brought to you by Orr Nissan Central, as that looks like that might have been an incident back here in the, I believe, the 14th position with the 55 Adam Buzzio there.
Adam Buzzio and Ryan Azell. I think Azell might have been on some fresh tires, or maybe Adam Buzzio was checking up for the guys too wide ahead of him here. But a little bit of contact in the left rear of the 55 by Adam Buzzio, or by Ryan Azell, and sent them both to the inside wall there. I think that may end the race for the 55, but the damage to the 5 pretty significant as well. And then 17 coming in pretty late, getting a piece of that as well.
Yeah, it's a little bit of carnage there, as unfortunately, like you said, I think Ryan Ezell, he came into the picture right there, and he was holding down below, and I think Adam Buzzio, I think he might have been, like you said, checking up for the cars in front of him, pulling a little bit low with Thibodeau up high, and just 2 cars going for the same spot, and literally both drivers, you know, none of their fault in my opinion, and just somewhat of a racing incident here to bring out our 4th caution here. And stage number 2 been somewhat of a little bit of a riding around here. And I tell you what, who's liking that is the drivers who didn't take tires, and Bob Fitzpatrick also, who took tires early.
Yeah, Bob Fitzpatrick is saying, come on, guys, keep doing that. And Hunter Hayward saying, how many restarts is it going to take before I can get by this guy? I've gotten door-to-door with him twice now, and right as I do, the caution comes out. So I'm sure Hunter's sitting there laughing in the cockpit of that 48 machine, and Fitzpatrick is saying, no, you just stay back there.
Yeah, it's always an interesting thing when you got these old tires, you keep getting these cautions. It's kind of playing out the way you want. You know, hey, I'm not losing track position, and we're putting laps in the book. You'll take it, especially for the guys who hadn't wasted a set. You know, they were going to give up a lot of track position for this strategy. Now the track position loss that they're going to have is going to be much less, as we got to make it all the way to lap 70. And here in 2 laps, it's only going to be 20 to go here in the stage.
Yeah, and that's ideally what you want. You try to pull off this type of strategy to save a set of tires here. These are the type of things, the just strokes of luck that just seem to fall that help your strategy even more, and just kind of mitigate the losses you were expecting to take. I mean, Bob Fitzpatrick for sure was going to lose the lead on those older tires. Not quite as old as some guys have had him pit on lap 16. but definitely going to be down on speed compared to the 48 with the fresh car on 4 tires that has caught up to him now. But still, leading the race, had 2 cautions, and not giving up positions, ticking off laps, but also leading laps. So got to be feeling good out of the 3 so far here, knowing that he's probably going to have a really good shot to get up to the front to contend at the end. If things continue the way they are at the late stages of this race, where he can take advantage of that extra set, then he might try to save here, especially some of these other guys a little farther back that have done a little bit of the same strategy.
Well, the more people on that strategy, the more it helps them too. So they definitely want as many people as they can have to keep their track position in hand. But man, under our 4th caution of the night here, after that incident between Adam Buzzio and Ryan Ezel on the back straightaway, it's definitely been interesting that stage 2 just having a little bit of a rash of caution fever here. And I'm telling you what, it's definitely not the way Hayward, I would say, wanted this play out. But at the same time, if I'm him, then I'm not taking tires possibly at the next stage.
I mean, for as much as you're saving tires at this stage under caution, you're really not having to push too hard on the ones you've got so far. They're pretty much brand new. You've barely got the stickers rubbed off of them so far. That very well could be the play that gets him kind of back to even with guys that should have an advantage pretty late in this race. So that might be something that he needs to look at. But I think right now he's just trying to get this restart underneath of him here and see if he can stretch out a lead and maybe take care of his stuff a little bit here and see what anybody else has got for him.
Now, if you're out there, Brandon, what position would you like to be in? Would you like to be in Hayward's position of, I'm in the spot with the new tires, I have the speed, yeah, we're getting the cautions, it's slowing everything down. My people that are on my strategy aren't losing track position as fast as I'd like, but I'm still in a pretty good spot. Or would you want to be Everett and them, or Ever or GT or Zar, kind of sitting there playing this strategy out and looking there, kind of licking their chops as all this is kind of playing out to their liking?
Well, I think you always want to be the guy that has the advantage, but as far as late race implications go, I think you want to be GT or Travis or one of these other guys that decided not to take a set, because like you said, they're ticking off laps before the end of the stage and are not losing track position doing it here when they assuredly were going to on the older tires. And it plays more and more to the advantage. You just got to be patient and wait for your strategy to come to you and just ride it out here and just hope that you can hold on to as much track position as possible. So I've got to say, I'm liking the situation that 59 and the 14 and Travis Everett and GT are in, and those are the guys I'm wishing I was in the car being right now.
Well, everybody out there in the chat, let us know how you're doing tonight and let us know who you're rooting for out there on YouTube as the home of Freaky Fast Broadcast. As we're getting ready to go back green flag races, we got them double file back up. Pace car going to pull in this time. Fitzpatrick again with control of this restart. As he enters the zone, he will go ahead, start the roll, and start the run down as now the green flag is out. He crosses the start-finish line with Hayward ahead of Everett. Can he get the run? Oh, here comes Everett back to the bottom as Hayward's going to have to use the outside. Them new tires should fire up around that outside.
You see how loose Everett is underneath of him there. Finally getting on some temps here. Fitzpatrick calling out he's going to stay high. Hunter making that move to the inside. Finally going to make that pass by the looks of it.
And man, I tell you what, for Fitzpatrick there going high, Hayward had to time that pretty well as he takes the lead back, to get that position. But look at Everett and Fitzpatrick, sorry, all these drivers going to go backwards. But look at Steven Baldwin in the 18. What a drive for him. Remember, he's moved up to the Cup Series full-time now, and this is the best run we've seen from this 18 so far.
Yeah, making really good use of the restarts there, being patient as well on the fresher tires, and just behind him now making the pass on Travis Everett. Nathan Campbell in the 52, also finally getting some use out of those tires to move up to third, but still, it looks like maybe on his fresh tires being a little bit easy here as Travis Everett still able to stay even with him.
Yeah, you're seeing they're fighting hard on the low tires, but they are going backwards, but man, they're not losing crazy amounts of ground here. I'm liking the strategy, and at the same time, look at Curtis Preston. He changed 4 tires. He's kind of stuck in between them. I don't know if maybe he's going into conserve mode. But I don't know how this is definitely an interesting race way it's playing out. Now you see Curtis Prescott go to inside his teammate Travis Everett take that position away, move himself up to that 4th spot. And man, as this is all transpired, Hayward has opened up about a 2nd gap.
And we saw exactly how good those fresh tires were. Once Nathan Campbell was able to clear Travis Everett, he just sailed away through 1 and 2 alone there. Now Travis Everett kind of stuck out high, 3 wide for a brief moment now, continuing to lose positions. His teammate GT Arizari in the 14 directly underneath him, as well as Trevor Massetti making the pass.
Oh yes, going forward these drivers are, and Massetti, one of the drivers looking to possibly get that first one of the season. And man, I mean for Everett and GT to only fall back to the 6th and 7th spot here, Brandon, this is pretty impressive, and I tell you what, does not bode well for the 48 or any driver who took tires on the last time.
Yeah, they've gotten a lot of life out of these older tires. These cooldown periods have really helped them out, and I imagine they were just, we saw at the end of stage 1, Travis Everett looking to be a little bit off pace. Maybe we thought he burned his stuff up just a little bit, but I think maybe that was just him trying to conserve, realizing the strategy that he was going to go on there, backing off and taking care of it, and it's paying off dividends now, still hanging on to 6th place, and really not under fire from anybody.
Looking through the field here, back to Nolan Potter in the 34th, Tony Ludy in the 13th. They're battling for the 18th and 19th positions. Looks like Potter's going to take that over as they XF2 as Ludy slides back to 19th. They got Kevin Sevilla behind them, as you got Jeff Carson, Kevin Dowd. Jeff Carson also lost the track position. He was up in the top 10, so he's looking to get back up there somehow.
Well, I'm hoping that damage on the nose of Jeff Carson looks a little bit worse for me than it actually is in the car, because he's still got a decent amount of speed in the 81 there. Like you said, trying to gain back that track position, was having a really good run before catching a piece of an earlier incident here. Looking to rebound, but still in pretty decent shape.
Yeah, definitely some great runs going for some few drivers out there. As lap 60 here to start, and man, we're nearing the stage point. It'll be 10 to go this time by for young Hunter Hayward, as he's looked very dominant, but with the strategies the way they're playing, I feel like a lot of the people on his strategy are playing the other strategy almost that way he was battling. So this is going to shake out interesting.
Well, that's the two sides of the coin for a strategy like this, when you only have a few people on one strategy and a lot of people on the other. If it works out for you, you're guaranteed good finishing position. But if it works out for the other guys, getting a caution time just right to work out for them and hurt you, you're going to lose a lot of positions. You're only going to have maybe 3 or 4 other guys that you're going to be able to outpace, but the rest of the field is just going to be gone.
Looking here at the battle between the 23 of Chad Biesinger and GT Arizari. Looks like GT trying to hang on to this top 10 spot here, as this is a battle for 10th. But they got Bob Fitzpatrick there directly behind in the 3, and Casey Kuntz in the 31. So GT Arizari dropping back to 10th now in that 14. But remember, he is on the older set of tires. I'll tell you who's doing great, the 59 Travis Everett, who is still in the 6th spot.
I was looking at the lap times, and compared to what some of these other guys are running on fresher tires, Travis Everett's only about 0.2 off of them. So fantastic speed that Travis Everett is still able to get out of those tires on the 59.
I mean, I feel like we see this from Travis a lot. He just, all of a sudden, just some weeks, man, he just has this raw, amazing long run speed, and he's showing it here. I mean, Potter gets by him there to slide back to 7th, man, but for what he's done with the old tires, to only lose that many spots, he's going to be right back up there in no time once he puts new tires.
Absolutely, and if these guys try to off-sequence and kind of put themselves back to even, some of the guys that have taken the tires this last stage here, there's not going to be too much track position between himself and the lead. I imagine only a handful of guys might try to stay out on their old tires. So, like you said, going to be rebounding pretty nice. I imagine going to be sitting inside the top 5 for the restart after the stage caution. Man, it's working out pretty well so far for Travis Everett, and that, of course, that long run pace that he just seems to be able to put together and just kind of pull out of a hat is absolutely working in his favor tonight here in Kentucky.
At the 11 of Matthew Rush directly behind for that 8th spot. Rush could possibly get into position here to take that. And tell you who's dropping off like a cliff here is Stephen Baldwin, 18 is at second, now back 5.3 seconds behind the leader of Hunter Hayward. And man, it's really opening up with Hayward out here pulling what.
Yeah, Stephen Baldwin, like we talked about on the restart, making really good use of his tires, finding a really good position to pass a lot of guys pretty quickly. Came past the slower guys ahead of him on older tires about the same time that Hunter Hayward did. Was there for a little while, and then, like you said, just kind of fell off a substantial amount. Nathan Campbell was contending as well for a decent amount of time, but he himself just fallen off as well. Now Curtis Preston taking over that second position, looking to try to do something with Hunter Hayward. I think if I'm Curtis, I'm not worried about the stage win. I'm worried about just kind of riding it out, making sure I finish second. Under fire as well. Hunter Massetti right there now taking over that third position. Hunter Hayward now with an almost 4-second gap, and we've only got a handful of laps here before the end of the stage. You're not going to catch him.
Yeah, looking like Hayward's going to be able to hold on to the stage unless something extraordinarily goes wrong for that 48 and lets this 29 and the 88 catch up. But man, Hayward looking strong, 3.6 second lead back to the 29 of Curtis Preston. 2 stage wins in his bag here. He is looking very strong, and if he'd had that pole, he could possibly be going for that 50-fast Grand Slam like Ryan Bean last week. But unfortunately, no pole for him, so no Grand Slam either.
Wouldn't that be something? 2 weeks in a row, went that long before it happened, and then just 2 weeks in a row. We get it. That'd have been pretty funny.
Yeah, that would have been not likely for sure. As haven't seen it happen other than that one time, so it's really cool to see Ryan Bean pull that off. But man, who will be the next? This week it will not be done, as our pole setter of Matthew Rush running 7th was not able to win stage number 1, and does not look like that's going to happen in stage 2. As Hayward crosses the line this time, it'll be white flag of the year for stage number 2.
Well, I'm looking here back at about the 10th position. GT just clinging on to 10th here, trying to get at least some stage points for the end of stage 2. Bob Fitzpatrick slowly reeling him in, but right behind him, Harold Watkins in the 22. Just outside the top 10, having a pretty good rebound from nearly getting caught up in that early crash.
The guys who are on the old tires are hanging on there perfectly, man. I mean, 8th and 10th there for Everett and Irizarry. Fitzpatrick in the 11th spot. I mean, this strategy has played wonders, and they're going to have extra set when we come down to that final stage. And that's going to have something a little extra to play with for sure, and it'll help them. But caution is out, as Hayward was able to win stage number 2 and go back to back here in the stages, man. Looking strong for that 48. Can he get his second win of his Cup Series career?
A lot of pace out of the 48, and also those 20 extra bonus points for the 2 stage wins. He's got a lot of opportunity here to make up a lot of ground on the points. Looking at it, he is currently 19th in points. Only 7 starts up to this point. This would be his 8th start in the season, where everybody else is going to have 15. So really grinding away at the points here, getting himself in a position to make the playoffs here. I believe if he continues this, pretty easily going to be in the playoffs, especially with his 1 win. So again, on the march and just chipping away at different points positions here.
Yeah, he really has been. He's been doing great ever since he took over full time, and he's out here putting on a show for us tonight at Kentucky, as he'll be able to pull it down here to pit lane, get him some service done on this 48, and the rest of these drivers, I believe most drivers will take 4. We may see some drivers who took 4 on the first stop not take tires, but the drivers who definitely didn't take tires on that first one will most certainly likely be taking 4 here on lap 72 and getting them some service done on those race cars. As after these pit stops are over, Brandon Colley will have a chat with the man you're looking at on screen.
I'm going to be keeping a close eye here on a couple guys, seeing if they jack the car up, put some tires on it.
Looks like Hayward will jack up that right and that left side. So he will be taking tires. It looks like Everett, Rush, Preston, really just all these drivers taking tires here under the stage caution, and everybody gonna be on equal footing. But let's pull up our stage 2 winner, Hunter Hayward, as this is his second time tonight, to talk with our man Brandon Colley before we head up to the final stage. Here's Hunter Hayward.
Hey, Hunter, Brandon in the booth again, bud. You got your ears on.
Yes, sir, I do.
Well, man, uneventful stage 2 there for you to bring home the second stage win of the night here. An extra 20 bonus points in your pocket for the end of this thing. Didn't have a chance to learn too much. What are you thinking for this final 70-lap stretch we got here to close this thing out?
Well, I really like how the car feels around the track, especially in the longer run. Kind of searching for grip in 3 and 4 especially. I like to run the bottom towards 3 and 4 and then just search for grip later in the run, which helps with my runoff with 3 and 4. So I'm really looking forward to the 70-lap stage run now. I know all these people are level of tires with me again, so it's going to be an interesting run. But I'm hoping it stays green. I know these people got an extra set over me through these strategies, so it'll be an interesting next 70 laps, but I'm hoping the cautions will finally go my way.
Well, looking at the 70-lap run here, you're going to have to make one pit stop to make it to the end on fuel. Are you worried about guys maybe trying to undercut? Do you think the undercut's going to be a pretty big thing, or do you think stretching it as far as you can go is going to be the way to go here?
I believe stretching it's just the best way to go. As you could see towards stage 2, just the amount of tires with fixed setups. I mean, you would catch up to them sooner or later, especially in the allotted amount of time that we would have left if someone stretched it out. But I think the faster cars definitely would catch them with fresher tires. But who knows? Maybe all these strategies will throw things up in the air. I'm sorry, I can't really talk right now. I'm focused, but I'm just looking forward to this stage 3.
Oh, alrighty, bud. We'll let you get back down there and get refocused to fire this thing off here for this last stint of the race. And wish you the best of luck, and hope you can keep that thing up toward the front and come out of this thing with a good finish. Maybe talk to you at the end of it.
All right, thank you, sir.
All right, that was your stage 2 winner here tonight of Hunter Hayward. Congrats to him, that 48, for pulling off that victory in stage 2. Like he said, now it's on even footing with all these drivers back on a set of tires. He's going to have to look to hold them off here, but I tell you what, he's been strong tonight. If it goes into the long runs, he's going to be a tough one to beat with how fast he's looked.
Yeah, and Hunter Hayward's always, since we've seen him on the track here at the RSR Cup Series, he is really good on the long runs, but he's also prone to late race mistakes on those long runs. It's just a matter of if he can avoid those mistakes that have seemed to cost him good finishes in the past, as to whether or not he's going to have a good finish here tonight.
It's going to come down to a lot of factors, but you're going to see him here live only on Freaky Fast, broadcasting here at the RSR Cup Series for the Kentucky 140. Thank you all for tuning in. We got the lights off on the pace car. We got him double file back up. Hunter Hayward, our leader, he's going to have control of the start, as we're right now on board with Nathan Campbell in that 3rd spot. Good run for himself. Can he hold on to the track position he has acquired? We'll have to see. Same with Stephen Baldwin, the 18th, Brock Potter in 6th. Now let's see if Travis Everett and GT Rizar can make their way back through. But man, the storylines are bubbling up to the top right now here, and I'm ready to get them going as the pace car will look to take the left-hand turn down to pit road. There it goes. Hey, we're going to have control of this zone. Restart, and away he goes. Great start for him. He's able to get a great jump, open up a couple car length gap as they go down the front straight.
Well, I want to point out, Zach, looking through our top 10 here, the cleanest cars in the top 10 are going to be our leader, Hunter Hayward, and then all the way back to restarting 8th and 10th of Travis Everett and Bob Fitzpatrick. Everybody else got a little bit of at least right side damage there. I think once the long run comes into play, that damage is going to hurt your overall speed. But fresh tires here. Ooh, Bob Fitzpatrick, big loose there. Able to gather that up.
Yeah,
Big moment.
oh, wow. Yeah, him and Harold Watkins close there. Big moment, like you said there, Kali. Cold Tires catching off the 3 off guard as he tries to continue his march through the field. As he was up there and now losing definitely some track position with that slide. As look taking 3 wide, possibly Anthony Younes.
Anthony being really aggressive in the 54, trying to get the nose underneath there to gain the preferred line on these older, the cold tires. Not quite working, decides to back out of it there.
Yeah, you see such crazy battles here early in the going at Kentucky. It's really somewhat of a hard thing to follow with how much groove. Like, you can really work the other grooves. Surprised by how much side-by-side racing we've seen.
Yeah, talk about the grooves that you can run here. I just watched Ryan Bean through 1 and 2 last time. He's running in 12th right now. Ran the high line in 2 and 3 and able to gain about 4/10 through the set of corners alone here. Now almost all the way to the back bumper of Travis Everett.
Ryan Bean, look at the run he's got around the outside, side-by-side with Brock Potter, last week's winner. He is now up to 9th. Got Travis Everett in front of him. GT Arizaria directly ahead of him. Here's Nolan Potter coming into the picture. So drivers starting to get back into the picture here as the run continues on here in the final stage.
Well, you watched it through 3 and 4. The high side not quite as effective. You don't get quite as much of a run through 3 and 4 on the high side, but 1 and 2 just seems to have a lot of grip up there, able to really generate a pretty good run. Maybe can set up a pass on the entry to turn 3 later on in the run when it really starts to widen out a bit. Guys searching around for grip.
Look at this hard racing here going on. GT Arizaria, Stephen Baldwin battling for the 6th spot as the 18 fighting hard with the 14, trying to hold him off. As the 14 will finally get it done, going down to the 1. GT will slide up to 6th. Next on his plate will be Matthew Rush. But I tell you what, 3.8 seconds back to the lead of Hunter Hayward. It's definitely a sizable gap if this thing goes good.
Yeah, and it's 2-car breakaway, 2-car breakaway, and then seems like the rest of the pack here. GT now finally getting the nose underneath the 11 to try to make the pass across the stripe. Looks like he will take over the 5th position for the time being. GT, I think, starting to come alive here. Not the best qualifying effort there. Back in about 8th, I believe, is where he started. Back up to 5th now, and looking pretty clean as well, able to stay out of trouble.
Speaking of GT, his teammate from Slide Job Racing last season's champion, Curtis Preston, he's acquired a new liking to this lead here as he is now directly behind his 48 at Hayward. Do we see Hayward pull away later? That's the question we'll have to ask ourselves, as we haven't seen if Preston, what kind of speed Preston has on these longer runs. We'll have to watch what the 29 can produce here. As we know, he's a series champion. He is super quick, and these two actually have some history too, so this battle here could be pretty interesting.
Yeah, and I imagine we're going to see Hunter here try the same thing that he tried on Curtis Preston's teammate of Travis Everett, keeping the dirty nose on that car. And you can see Curtis is expecting that. He's backing up his corners a lot earlier just to make sure he gets a better run out of the corner to kind of negate the effect that the dirty air is going to have on him. He's sweeping in wide, and you just see how much slower he is on entry, and then center, just a better run than the 48 right now. And like you said, history, if it comes down to it, these guys are not exactly the most fond of each other after some on-track incidents, but I'm sure a lot of respect here. There's got a lot of time left in this race. No need to do anything hasty just yet. Just feeling each other out right now.
Yeah, Preston was there closing in. He looks so good in 3 and 4, Brandon. Like right here, this line he runs right here, this really arcing line. He just carries a lot of speed right through there. But it does look like that thing is leaning hard on the right front. We'll have to see if he can keep that right front under him here as the run continues on. As Hayward has stretched a little bit of a gap here in the last 2 laps.
Yeah, it's looking like more of a sweeping entry out of the 29, but a more pinch down, almost straight run off the corner. Hunter's really slowing it down a lot more center and getting a straight run off, not abusing his right front too much. We'll have to see which one ends up being the better call late in the run here, but you have to favor always saving the right front as much as possible to get the long run speed out of the car.
What a race between these two, as GT Irizarry has got up to the top 5 now. Same with Ryan being the 6th. And one driver struggling right now to get positions made up is Travis Everett in the 59, as he's kind of stuck right now in the 10th position, Brandon, and 5.9 seconds behind the lead.
Drop back just a little bit off the start here. Some close calls with car contact, and just kind of regathering himself now. I think trying to maybe save just a little bit for the end, but you're going to have to make this extra pit stop. I don't know if he's maybe trying to stretch it just a little bit further. Might be saving a little bit more fuel so we can push just a little bit harder after the pit stop. But we'll have to see, as Travis Everett now sitting in 10th position.
Going to the inside of Nolan Potter here off of 2. He's got the run. Great run through 1 and 2 there on the bottom. Can he make it work down here in 3 and 4? This is a tougher spot to make the bottom work. Looks like Potter going to be able to hang on that door here on the exit of 4, and they'll battle down to 1 as Travis Everett trying to get by to take that nice spot, as he knows this race is driving away from him with his teammate Curtis Preston and Hunter Hayward out front by a good portion.
I'm looking just ahead now. We talked earlier about Stephen Baldwin and seemed to be struggling just a little bit. Still running inside the top 10, but just does not seem to have the pace. You got Anthony Anthony Yunes on the inside of him. Even with that wrinkled up race car there, nose is pretty clean, getting a lot of pace out of it here with a nice position to finish top 10 and continue to charge forward and try to gain a little bit more than just that top 10.
This side-by-side action. Stephen Baldwin, Anthony Yunes. This is the battle for the 7th spot to it. Anthony, 28th to 7th. What a drive for him as he gets past Stephen Baldwin.
And open up the door as well for Travis Everett to follow suit behind him. Travis Everett, I think, now starting to pick up the pace a little bit, realizing how much of a gap he has given up to our leaders here. Maybe trying to save just a little bit. Starting to get a little bit more out of those tires now. But great run off the corner for Anthony in that 54.
Yeah, it's been a great battle right here, man. Potter coming into the picture. Everett now getting past Baldwin's now got Potter there. And a lot of people coming into the picture. Even Chad Biesinger, Matthew Rush. I mean, this is a great racing here in Kentucky. And man, this place is moving up on my list, Brandon. You know, this one was always towards the bottom of the list at first tracks. This one might move up a couple positions.
Kentucky's just always one of those tracks where you go there one race and you're loving it, and then you go back another race and you're like, what the heck is wrong with me? Why did I ever love this place? And you know, sometimes you can get the feel for the track and get a lot of speed out of it, and another time you try to go and do the exact same things that you had speed with the last time you were there, and they just don't seem to work quite right. But you know, that's kind of racing, but it's kind of what makes this track fun. You think you're fast, and it's not always the case.
Look at Fitzpatrick here coming back into the 11th position. It's man, these positions are changing hands so quickly that it's pretty wild. I mean, you know, Fitzpatrick, he's been back and forth lead all the way up to where he started. I mean, 23rd. So it's been one of those back and forth races for him. But I gotta give credit again to Anthony Yunes, 28th to 7th. That is a drive and a half.
Yeah, and it's, you know, we've seen some up and down finishes and some up and down runs for the 54. But really putting together a solid effort here. Still got a little ways to go. Still got to keep things on track. But I believe I'll have to look at the scoring here and see exactly what his finishing situation is like for this so far in the season. Has one top 5, one top 10. So definitely wanting to add another top 10 to that list. But he's definitely on pace here to add even another top 5 to the list with a good finish tonight.
Yeah, this field has been fantastic this season. And, you know, looking at the 5th place man, Ryan being last week's winner, top win getter this season so far with 3 wins in his back pocket. I am liking the run for him in the top 5, and this is the places that he has to pick up the speed. If he wants to win a championship, Brandon, I think mile and a half are the places where he has to gain more, because we've seen short tracks, the sugar plate tracks, and of course he's got those on lock. Just these 1.5 miles and 2 mile tracks. He's just got to find out a little bit more because I mean he's right there in 5th place, starting from 13th. If Ryan B can just find that little bit extra gear, he could be right there in the mix. Just talking about top of the favorites for a championship.
Yeah, and I mean, it's great to be good at the road courses, the plate tracks, the short tracks. But the 1.5 miles are the ones we have the most of. Those where we go the most often. If you can have speed at those other tracks, that's fine, but you're only going to get maybe, 4 or 5 races in a season that you're going to have really a good feeling about if you just can't figure out the 1.5 mile speed. But right now showing that he's figured something out. Top 5, like you said, a little bit off pace, I think, from what GT is running ahead of him here. Just kind of hanging around now, managing his stuff. Ryan Bean up to 4th in points now, 46 points behind our leader of GT, just ahead of him here. But he's got about 5 points, 6 points separating him from Travis Everett, who's a couple positions back, so looking to extend the lead over Travis Everett as well. And just kind of put together a good run here and get a good stepping point to start knocking down those consistent 1.5 mile and 2 mile finishes.
Well, we're getting down to the point where it's going to get close to pit stops here, Brandon. We're going to be looking at 40 to go next time by, and I would say 35 to go is when that pit stop window is going to open up. It's about halfway for the run. I'd say 30 to go is really the number you want to hit, and then pit from there, and then we'll see who can play it out with the 2 guys up front. Will be separated by 0.3 of a second. Those 2, it's going to come down critical to this pit stop for the win of the race. And not only that, but then you're going to look back farther in the field with GT and Trevor. They're going to be battling here soon. And it's just really heating up here, getting ready to happen for strategy with these pit stops about to kick off.
Yeah, and if you're somebody like Hunter Hayward or Curtis Preston, Trevor Massetti GT, that are so close on pace with the guy that you're really trying to pass for position, the pit stop timing is going to be everything. What we've seen so far is it seems like once the run gets to the long run stage, the track position is what matters most. It's so hard to make those passes with the dirty air you're going to have on your nose. Being able to maybe time the pit stop a little bit better and get the jump ahead and just try to hold the guy off with some dirty air just because you're so similar on pace might be the way to go here. And you're just trying to play that chess game, figuring out, okay, when does he pit? When do I need to pit? If I pit here, how bad is that going to affect me? If he pits here, how bad is it going to be for me? Am I going to have too hard of a time getting around him? And this is what these guys are going to be running down in their minds for the next handful of laps before the pit stops really start to cycle through.
Well, it's definitely going to be soon happening on pit road with Hayward really starting to stretch the gap. We're getting into the part of the run where he's starting to stretch his legs a little bit on Curtis Preston. And with the way the runs are, though, with only a 60% load, you can only go 35, about 35 laps on a green flag run there, Brandon. It's kind of hard to, not necessarily be good on the long runs, but be very good at the very long runs.
Yeah, because you're just not getting those super good long runs with the just over half fuel load in the car. The long run really only equates to about maybe an extended mid-run. So it's that struggle trying to figure out how much versus what you think you need to push to save your tires, or maybe not push to save your tires, and try to calculate that into exactly what the long run's going to equate for this particular race here. And so far it seems like Hunter Hayward has been able to figure out that mid-run pace to get the long run for the fuel load that they're going to have. But Curtis Preston not too far behind. It's kind of yo-yoing right now, where it looks like Curtis will fall back a little bit, then gain some ground, then fall back a little bit, gain some ground. And now getting word that we are having some pit stops. Bob Fitzpatrick coming in this time by.
Yeah, same Matthew Rush here hitting pit road. So pit stop starting to transpire, like I said, right around 105. And be interested to see when the leaders pit. Who is going to flinch first up here? I think you don't want to be the first one to pit here. I think you want to be the second one, and then you come in that next lap.
Well, it's a tough call. I think if I'm Hunter Hayward, I'm going to hope that Curtis Preston doesn't pit before me. I don't want to have to go around that extra lap. If I can help it, I want to be dead even with him, because I know if I come out ahead of him, that I'm going to be able to keep him behind me. But if there's a chance that just for some reason, him pitting that extra lap before is going to allow him to get the nose ahead of me and get a full position ahead of me on the track, it's going to be hard for me to pass him. Just try to keep it even, and that, again, that's another game that these guys are going to be trying to play. But I imagine Curtis Preston struggling right now. Had a big moment coming out of going into turn 3, I believe that was. Slid just a little bit. He's going to be wanting some tires pretty soon.
Yeah, he's starting to slide back into the clutches and out of the pressure zone of Hayward. And it's got to feel good right before you go into pit stops to pull a little bit away. I think Preston going to hit pit road this time. Yes, he is slowing down. He's had enough of it. He's coming down. When does Hayward flinch here and go down? I think, Brandon, he's got to do it by 110. He has to do it by 30 to go.
I would do it this lap. Honestly, if I was Hayward, I would come down this lap.
Oh, I think that's the optimal. But he just can't wait too long. You know, that's going to be critical here. What is the phase he does? We'll see. Right now, I don't think he'll be coming down. Yeah, he's going to run through 3 and 4, so he's going to go another lap. He wants a 2-lap difference possibly. He'll come by and complete the lap here as now Everett up in the second with multiple different drivers completing their pit stops here under green flag situations.
Well, I think what's going on now is that Hunter, like you said, he wanted to stretch it out as much as possible, getting calls on the radio. He's going to pit this time, hoping to get these guys maybe trapped a lap down if he can. They get a caution, but he would have been the only one on track not to pit, so everybody else would have just got the wave around. Not really much of an advantage there. Going to go ahead and bring it in. But I think that was the game plan, but just ended up being the only one out on track, or the last one out on track that had not pit yet. We'll have to see if these guys are able to gap him now that he's come in to make his stop 2 laps after Curtis Preston.
Oh, we'll have to see. Preston has already gone by for the first to get his lap back. There he is, coming out of 2. Gonna have to watch and see where Hunter Hayward comes out. Right now, jacking up the left side of his car as Preston goes down to 3 and 4. They drop the side. He's off and away. It's going to be pretty close here. Preston at the line now as Hayward getting up the speed. He'll be going into turn 1 as Hayward will be exiting here. And you'll see right on the apron, there it is. The lead should change hands once it all cycles through. Curtis Preston, your new, not leader right now, but soon to be leader once it all cycles.
I think that extra lap sack was just a little bit too much.
Yeah. He possibly waited too much. I mean, it's going to be hard to say. It's such a big gap between the two. He has great pace on the end of runs. We'll have to see if he can unlock that pace here as he gets by Yunez, who is on the lead lap there, and he'll be coming to unlap himself with Travis Everett directly in front.
Travis Everett hitting this time by, able to get around Travis. A little wiggle there, but
Ooh, yeah.
that could have been disastrous for Hunter if that caution would have come out while he was still a lap down there. Would have got the wave around, but restarting at the tail end. Now, Zach, the biggest question is, Hunter Hayward has not really had to deal with dirty air at the end of a run. Is he going to be able to figure out a way to navigate that, even with his good pace at the late runs here, not having to deal with that? You know, can he figure out what he needs to do to use that late run pace to his advantage to get around the dirty air and find his way past Curtis Preston?
It's such a tough question to ask. I mean, that dirty air is just going to be so tough once he gets closer. And right now, I mean, that time by slower than Curtis Preston lost time. He may have just done it a lap too late there, Brandon. I mean, we'll have to see. I mean, he definitely is strong at the end. He could come forward there at the end and all of a sudden put a charge on. He could be working towards something. We'll have to see. But at the moment, he is still in that 5th position behind Curtis Preston with David Hall, Andrew Little, and Harold Watkins out on the racetrack. But looks like Andrew Little hitting the pit road as Harold Watkins hit last time. And David Hall will be the last car still out on the racetrack yet to pit.
Man, right now, looking GT. I believe when he started this pit sequence was in the top 5, I believe 4th position here. Now it's still just behind Trevor Massetti, who he pit with. Ryan Bean also directly behind them. Not too far, about 4 car lengths there. Lost a little bit of time throughout the sequence, but still really close for those guys. And I believe once, David Hall coming into pit this time by to relinquish the lead over to Curtis Preston to conclude our green flag pit stops here. Everybody's going to cycle back around to the top 5.
Man, Curtis Preston's going to have a decent sized gap here as he crosses the line, takes the lead from David Hall. 1.2 seconds back to Hunter Hayward. And Hayward last time by 2 tenths quicker. 25 to go. Does he need to charge up there right now, or does he need to methodically? I think he needs to use the tires, Brandon. That's what I'm thinking.
It's not that much time left. I mean, if you've got it, go ahead and try to use it. But I would say don't try to get all that time back immediately. Put a little bit more down, gain a little bit of time. That way you've got something in the bank. You can try some pretty aggressive, drastic moves there to try to make something work on the 29 once you catch him. And that way that you've just got a better chance to get around that dirty air than you would if you just burned your stuff up and had to wait behind him to try to cool it back off.
Curtis Preston, he's going to make it tough. I mean, this is going to be coming down for the win. Preston's going to be very, very smart how he places his car. He is an expert of racecraft when it comes down to these races, and Hayward's going to have to be on his best to beat this guy.
Yeah, it's going to take every trick that Hunter's been able to learn so far to try to just find something to get around the crafty veteran that is Curtis Preston. We talked about last season's champion, proven race winner. Just shows the skill of the driver behind the wheel of the 29 there. He knows how to get it done. And I think that was probably the worst call, is to just allow him to get the position ahead of you here. It's defender's advantage, it seems like, tonight. And we know, like we said, the experience Curtis Preston has, he's going to have a lot of tricks up his sleeve.
Oh, he's going to have everything ready for him in his arsenal. And these guys are just hoping for no caution right now. That's the big thing with 21 to go. They're saying, no caution, please, because this is working out perfect for our strategies. Look back at GT Irizarry here. He's in that 3rd spot, so, man, he's drove up to there. But look at Trevor Massetti, not too far behind. Also, Ryan Bean. These 3 competing for a podium.
Well, and a little ways back from those guys, about 5 seconds back behind that group of 3, you got Bob Fitzpatrick sitting in 6th position, up 17 spots, still holding steady to a top 5. Doesn't look like he's going to be quite close enough to break into the top 10 here, but still a really good run for the 3 tonight. And then behind him, you've got Travis Everett, who just seems to be struggling a little bit as we got to the later half of this race. Just doesn't quite seem to have the pace that he had at the early going.
Yeah, that has totally caught me off guard because he looked very, very strong. I know he fell off a little bit when he was behind Hayward for that one moment, but man, he was looking very, very good still. And yeah, just not being able to produce that same speed up to this point, only upwards of 12.6 seconds back. That's a sizable gap, and sizable gap is that gap closing down between these 2 leaders. 2 tenths that last time by. 19 to go. Hunter Hayward under 2nd. The draft should start to help here soon, but that dirty air is also going to start to hinder.
Yeah, once he gets, now he's really being aggressive, getting into the corners. It looks like he's saved his right front quite a bit, able to really hold down on the bottom where Curtis Preston, we saw, just seemed to struggle maybe a little bit, keeping the nose of the car pinched down off the exit of turn 3. Now, within that 4/10 bracket, he's going to start feeling that dirty air, and the closer he... Oh, there's a caller on the wall ahead of him.
Oh, no. And that's going to bring out caution most likely. Yes, it is. That's the worst case scenario. Dustin Stallings bringing out a caution here. 62 laps down. And, man, oh, that is terrible for these guys. And, man, that is going to bring out our 6th or Nissan Central caution. And Stallings there losing it in 1 and 2. We'll have to go back on the replay here and see what exactly happened. I believe he got the apron here. And, man, this is not going to play out good for these guys. Here we go back on the replay. Yes, catching the apron on that left front of the 93. And oh man, that just not a great night. Adds insult to injury here, being 63 laps down and bringing out a caution here in the final portion of the race. Man, this could have a huge effect.
Yeah, this kind of blew stuff wide open here. This such an advantage to these guys that have been able to save a set. This is the exact situation that they were looking for. We've seen just the amount of fall off here in comparison to fresh and old tires. You've got to hope that there's a lot of guys. If you're Curtis, Preston, or Hunter, you've got to hope there's a lot of guys that are not on this strategy. They're going to be that buffer between you and those cars on fresh tires. But with the amount of laps that we have left, I think it's just too much time to allow them to get around everybody.
Yeah, I mean, looks like it's going to be 5 cars here in pit road, so that should put them about 15th once it all cycles. So, Brandon, this is going to be one of those things that, man, I just don't know how this is going to play out. I think the tires are going to be very valuable, but do they have enough time?
Well, we should go back green, I believe, with about 12 to go. And I think the difference we saw was about a second between fresh and old. They've had a pretty decent amount of time on this set of tires here. The big question is, how well do they get to navigate traffic? Are we going to have guys that are out on the older set of tires that are going to be 3 wide on the restarts that these guys are going to have to check up for? Any time that they have to get checked up is going to be such a benefit for, Trevor Massetti, Bob Fitzpatrick, Hunter Hayward, Curtis Preston, any of these guys at the front that are just hoping that they don't have enough time to get back to the front.
Well, it's about half the run completed already after the pit stops. This is they're going to be a good bit slower. I mean, looking at the end of the run right there, Curtis Preston 30.5 last lap, 29.4 is their fast lap. So a second, 1.1 seconds of fall off there. Man, 1.1 seconds is a lot. I mean, if you could cut through the field pretty good, then they're going to be looking really good off. I mean, oh, wow. And let's see when they cycle through here, where they're at exactly, Brandon. I'm not sure. I think GT or Travis Everett will be the first across the line in 14th. So, yes, 14th position, 15th, 16th for the drivers that pitted. Also, Jeff Carson, I believe, hit pit road, and Marc-Andre Thibodeau.
Well, you got to think 1.1 second difference in lap time. They'd have to be, 11 seconds back to not have enough time to get there. They're going to be much closer than that and plenty of time to get back to the lead here. They're going to be able to run the outside and not even really have to worry about guys that are slower than them. They're going to be so fast rolling the outside of the corner. They're going to be able to pass at their discretion, just catch them, pass them as soon as they catch them. It's just a matter of if they have to check up. Maybe guys decide to go 3 wide, like I said. If you try to force the issue, I understand it's the end of the race, but you still got to be smart on those fresher tires. This is a lot of the issues we run into, guys. Fresh tires versus old tires, and that discrepancy in speed causes a lot of problems.
Yeah, if you're Curtis Preston out front personally, I mean, you're going to want possibly a caution to kind of give these guys less laps to be able to get to you. But you just hope that you don't lose as many cars in between you, and you hope it's a caution that doesn't really give them no track position. So there's a lot to hope, but really the best thing you can do is just go out there and drive the best you possibly can and try to figure it out from there.
Exactly right. You're hoping that you have a situation that played out like for Bob Fitzpatrick during stage 2, where he had the older tires, but just cautions ticking off the way they did. He didn't really lose a lot of track position. And the more that happens here at the end of the race, the greater they're going to be able to breathe a sigh of relief here. But like you said, you hope that happens. But in the meantime, you've got to go out there and just try to be as fast and smooth on the tires that you have as possible, and just hope that maybe you've got just enough pace or something just goes your way. You get that lucky caution that you need to give you a breather, and maybe save your race, maybe allow you to come away with your race win here.
So once we get it all lined up, it will be 13th, I believe, for Travis Everett. So, wow. Going to restart there, looking very good. in that position. But man, what can we expect here? Who do you think has the best shot?
Well, if Travis Everett was just sandbagging on that last run and maybe trying to figure out something, I don't know. I think he and GT the best.
Oh, huge wreck here, bringing out the caution brought to you by Nissan Central. And man, oh no, that was a hectic restart here. I was about to go back and check out exactly what has all went down here on the. And it looks like, man, the 31 looks like some contact between the 13 and Tony Ludi also, I believe. Here's we'll go back on our replay and check out what happened here. There's already, oh, and through the middle, Ludi there, the contact there that sends Kuntz up the track, and oh, Everett going around backs it into the wall. And man, from there, Calamity. Oh, David Hall getting some of it too.
That's exactly what I was talking about. You've got the fresh tires, but you still have to be careful. And I think that may have gotten a piece of all of the drivers that were on that fresh tire strategy.
Yeah, it kind of did. And I tell you what, this is shaping up for some type of finish. Look who's in third though, Brandon. He needs this finish.
Oh, absolutely. Bob Fitzpatrick, just up and down season so far. And now looking to finish with a top 3 here. Just got to hold off Trevor Massetti, but he's had pretty decent pace the entire race. Seeing him get shuffled to the back, a little bit of a loose condition, had to give up a few positions, but charged right back now in position to bring home a top 3 here if he can finish out this race.
Yeah, if he can bring home a top 3, I think he'll exit tonight pretty happy. I mean, it's been a tough ride for him. I mean, ever since I don't want to say it's the freaky fast curve for Fitzpatrick, but he's ever since we took over the broadcast, he was the top seed going into the playoffs last year. Had a tough playoffs, and it's kind of just spiraled worse and worse. And he's shown speed. It's just never the finishes playing out for that 3.
And I'm wondering if maybe it's a bit of a confidence thing. He's just kind of shaking up here, needing some good results to boost the morale for the 3 camp. But like we said, looking really good here to get a good finish and boost that morale. And if that's all it's going to take, hopefully he can get it to get back to that top championship contender form that he's been known for in the past.
We'll have to see for sure what happens here. I believe we'll get double file back up this next time by Curtis Preston, last season's champion, trying to do his best to get his 3rd win of the season. Only 1 win to his name so far this season. Hunter Hayward also side by side with him will have 1 win to his name. So drivers out here trying to produce multiple wins. And you got the 2 drivers in the next row trying to get their 1st win of Massetti and Fitzpatrick.
Seeing under this caution flag, Massetti coming up here and giving Bob some bumps. Just having fun out there on the racetrack.
It's always a good time out there on the racetrack, my friend. And, especially for the guys at Clutch Motorsports. I mean, that's 2 teammates there. So they've definitely got to, there's some happy bumps there. Those are no bad bumps, no bad love there between those 2 as they're going to restart in that position, but didn't look like a double foul this time, Brandon. I kind of jumped the gun there, I think.
Yeah, that everybody's a little anxious up here, waiting to see how this one's going to play out now that we thought it got shooken up, and then it got shooken up a whole lot more, and the top of this pop bottle's ready to blow.
Yeah, I think Brian Johnson used to always say up here in the booth that the water's starting to boil, or the pot's starting to boil. I think it's starting to boil up here. I think the simmer turned to a boil.
I can hear the kettle starting to whisper.
That's right. It's getting to be that time. But thank you all for tuning in here, as always, on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. Thank you to all the sponsors here, Sheffield Graphics, Nissan Central, and ButtKicker for all their help here at the Evolution Racing League. They are fantastic partners, and couldn't do it without them here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. And tell you what else is fantastic is you fans out there. Thank you guys for being the greatest fans in all of sim racing for Freaky Fast Broadcasting, and tune in each and every week here for us as we go live on YouTube. So check us out and make sure you hit that like, that follow, that subscribe button, and you can also get the notification bell to know when we go live each time here on YouTube. And yeah, we would love that. Come tune in here each and every week. So thank you everybody for tuning in. Like I said once again. Well, Brendan, with 9 to go, coming to 8 to go, double filed up. If we make it green here, can Preston hold off Hayward, or does his competitor come from another row?
Unless the two get together, I don't think it's going to come from another row. This race, I think, is going to be settled between the 48 and the 29. I think it all depends on this restart if we don't get another one. If Hunter can get even with Curtis into turn 1, it's really going to be a race. But if Curtis is able to stretch it out and get clear, it's going to be really hard for the 48 to get back around him.
Well, we'll have to see. Possible final restart of the night. Curtis Preston with the lead. There he goes in the restart zone. Off and away. Not the greatest start this time for Hayward. He is not able to clear the 3 of Fitzpatrick. Yes, he does jump down in front, right in front of that 3 as they head down to 1. Can the 48 get the momentum build up? Here is the run coming through 1 and 2. He's got the push. Remember, got the tires also a little bit fresher than that of Curtis Preston. 2 laps fresher. I must point out they're wrecking in the back. I believe some smoke, but I think we're going to stay green. Here he goes down to the bottom. A little bit loose for the 48. Can't put the power down. He's going to slide up behind into the second position. Now the battle ensuing back here with Trevor Mercedes, Stephen Baldwin, his Clutch Motorsports trying to get themselves in the top 5s with multiple cars.
I tell you, Zach, I'm liking what I'm seeing out of the 48, especially in turn 3 there. Seemed like he's got a little bit better grip, a little bit fresher tires, could serve just a little bit there that last run. But it's just a matter of if he can get the run at the right time, not hit that apron and give up any time. Great run out of turn 3 here.
Great drive. What a drive out of 3 there. If he can do that again and just be a little bit closer on entry, he could possibly put himself in position. Here coming down into 1 and 2. Here comes Preston, squeeze. But here comes Hayward to the bottom, side by side down the back straightaway. These two fighting hard for this victory. They're coming to 5 to go. Hayward sails it down into 3 and 4, backs the center up. He has the drive and now has the lead. He wants to win here tonight. With 5 to go, he's back up front.
That was an incredible drive. I did not expect him to be able to do that. I figured the tire difference, or the tires evening out, and the speeds being so similar, that the dirty air was what was going to matter here. But now look at that Jeff Carson.
Yeah,
up in third. First tire.
Do not look too far from behind. Carson coming on new tires. Same with Irizarry. It's going to be the drivers on new tires taking advantage. This strategy is going to work out. Here comes the 81 to the inside. They're wrecking off of 4, but they keep it straight. Side by side here, down into 1 and 2. Let's see who can pull it off. Carson on the new tires. He's going to go by the 48. You know that's got to hurt Hayward as he sees the 81 drive by with 4 to go. Irizarry behind, trying to take position from Fitzpatrick.
We just get Zapladil 2 weeks in a row.
We definitely, well, not 2 weeks in a row, but 2 weeks of regular tracks in a row. And man, oh man, here we go, 2 to go. Jeff Carson out front. Remember, this guy is a fill-in driver who beat Hunter Hayward, who was a fill-in driver who won earlier this season. How the tables have turned.
Turns have tabled indeed, and that will show you how great these fresh tires are. All of the guys that are charging up here on the fresh tires, loads of damage, and still this fast just due to fresh tires.
And look at that, Irizarry, nice and easy. One final time here, white flag in the air, brought to you by Sheffield Graphics. Jeff Carson looking to pull home a victory tonight in the Cup Series. Here comes Irizarry. Here comes Everett also. The 2 drivers there fighting forward, trying to get everything they can. They're going to come down to 3 and 4. Carson with the almost second lead out front. Here comes Irizarry to the inside of Hayward. I think he has the run, but does ever have the run is the question. Irizarry will go to the line. And it looks like Irizarry's going to take second with Hayward in third. And Jeff Carson, your race winner tonight from Sheffield Graphics. What a win. Oh, wow, now it's the white flag. I'm a lap ahead, and I can't believe that.
But don't worry, I thought too.
I thought it's so white. Okay, my bad. Jeff Carson coming out of 4. He's going to win it this time. Irizarry going to get second, I believe, as Hayward going to try to fight off Everett. And oh, he almost gets back to Irizarry. What a battle for second. 14 going to come home second. Third is going to be the 48 Hayward. And Jeff Carson with the win. I called it premature there, but guess what? It didn't matter. He was still able to bring it home, guys. Man, what a win brought. And man, he is your Sheffield Graphics race winner tonight. Nobody can take that away from him.
Zach's out here talking about second verse, same as the first. Man, that was a great run for Jeff Carson. Again, man, just seeing him come flying through there, not realizing that there were still guys in the hunt on those tires. Great strategy call, and just came up to the front at the exact right moment to take advantage. Great rebound.
Man, I got so excited that I literally just blacked out and was like, it's the white flag. So definitely a little bit of a mistake there from myself. But man, I tell you what, great job by him and Jeff Carson pulling that off. And I tell you what, that's also from Zab Motorsports. This is amazing. I mean, you think about it, they had Hayward out front, but they also had Carson on this strategy. This really worked out for that team. Congrats to them as they do a burnout here on the front stretch. But we'll be back here in one moment, guys, as we find our top 3. I'm sure it's going to be pretty excited from our winner for sure. So we'll be right back, everybody. All right, we're back here, everybody, as we got our top 3 drivers up here tonight in the waiting room, waiting for us to get a chat with them. As man, what a crazy wild finish. Third place man Hunter Hayward trying to fight off the new tires. It would at least bring home third after winning stage 1 and 2. Sure, he's gonna have a little disappointment, but let's hear what he has to say. Hey Hunter, it's Zach up in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
Well, I tell you what, buddy, what a fight you had out there tonight on your hands. But, man, just going to come up a little bit short to them new tires coming on through. It was the strategy that got you tonight, man. But I tell you what, great race nonetheless. You looked dominant out there in the 48.
Yeah, all in all, that was an awesome run by our car. This is definitely my best mile-and-a-half track. It sucks it's not in the NASCAR circuit anymore, at least I believe so. But yeah, I mean, I didn't expect coming in with a dominant car today, but I knew the setup that I had last run here a couple races earlier, and it had worked again. I mean, I definitely like this track. Coming in at a third stage, I knew I was gonna have a different strategy, and towards the end, I was catching Curtis, and I was pretty much the fastest car on the track within that point. I was just hoping and praying for a caution, and it happened right in front of us. So that's a bummer. The new tires is what beat our car, and yet our car was so fast, yet I was able to hold off a lot of fresh, hard charging tires, and I think I almost got second. I just lost it by a foot, the GT there. So awesome racing between us, but our Plan B sales Chevy was looking really good today.
It definitely was, Hunter. Out there really strong. I gotta say, man, definitely this track here seems to suit you there. It seems like you had everything working here tonight. What was your favorite part of the track, and what do you feel like your strong suit was compared to your competition out there?
The strong suit definitely was what everyone else on the track hated, and it was the long run in 3 and 4. 1 and 2, you could do a slight lift in the back, wide open in the throttle. But 3 and 4 is towards the longer run. Instead of running the bottom, I would like to slide up the track a little bit more and just search for grip, and that's where I would start pulling away from everybody else. I just had a really good job, and I think it's just this track is just the best fit for me learning how to save tires the most here, and I was able to do it. Yet again, I didn't expect a really, really strong performance in the first and second stage and even the third, but I'm still grateful. We got a top 3 finish, and that's awesome for me when we had a ton of new tires coming in. So I'm very grateful, and that was an awesome race today.
Yeah, it definitely was, buddy. It was fun to watch out here from the broadcast booth. So thank you for putting on a show out there for us tonight, man. Before we let you go, as always, anybody want to send a shout out to in that 48?
I'm sorry about that. It's awesome just every single week to be able to race in this league. So thank you to Ryan and everybody who puts on a great show to help me race in this league. You guys, Freaky Fast. You're not only going to be broadcasting this league now, but you're going to be broadcasting on Sundays coming up soon. So that's going to be awesome. I'd like to thank all my teammates out there: Kevin Zab, Chad Bessinger, Jeff Carson. Great win today, brother. Awesome, great strategy. Every other of my teammates out there, Rusty, I know you couldn't make it. Collie and Zach helping me out on other weekends. I mean, you helped me at Watkins Glen. I would have gave you a shout out if I got that top 3, but that's all right. Y'all helped me out with everything. Everything to do at Cat 5 Motorsports, so esports. Can't even speak right now, but everybody who helps me, especially my sponsors out there, Plan B Sales. Let me give them a quick shout out. Plan B Sales is the largest independent distributor of NASCAR diecasts. Retail customers can also visit CircleBdiecast.com, where you can use code can't speak today, HH48, HH as in Hunter Hayward 48, for free shipping on orders over $20. So go check them out. Make sure to use code HH48.
Well, buddy, congrats on third here tonight. Another great finish for you. And hopefully we talk to you soon up here in the booth again, buddy.
Thank you, brother. You have a good night.
Yeah, you too. All right, that was your third place man, Hunter Hayward. As we got our second place man able to charge up late in the going. Maybe if that caution didn't come out, he could have had a shot at that victory, but Jeff Carson able to get that done there with the new tires. GT is already the second car on the new tires. Let's hear what he has to say. Hey, GT, it's Zach up in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Hey, Zach. How's it going, brother?
Hey, it's going pretty good, man. Good to have you up here tonight in second place. So, Bud, I tell you what, great call there to save the tires at the end of that stage 1 caution, and it comes back to help you get this second place finish here, man. You had good pace here tonight, but able to pull off second after that strategy call.
I mean, it was we knew it was going to be a good track for us. We practiced really well, and Curtis and the 48 were super fast. So I mean, that strategy was going to be the strategy to win. But I made a bonehead move and ended up crashing a bunch of good cars. My apologies to the 13 and 31. I did not realize that when we went green that Travis got the jump on the outside. I thought we had a better restart than he did. So I took him 4 wide. When I was thinking I was taking him 3 wide, but still it's my fault for not understanding where everybody was. But hated for them guys, but good for us. We got another top 3. We ain't got the W yet, but hey, we're on top of the point, so apparently it's working, right?
Hey, that's what I was about to go at. You're on top of the points, and then now coming down with about 5 weeks left here before the playoffs. You think we can do these tracks line up well for a possible win for you? Because I tell you what, man, you got the win at Bristol with the the non-points race, but just the consistency each week we see from you. I feel like that win's right around the corner. Do you feel like any of those tracks kind of stick out in your mind there?
To be quite honest with you, I can't remember exactly which ones are all coming up. I know we got the Milwaukee Mile coming up, and that's a short track. I'm not a big that's not my fun tracks there, the mile and a halfs are. But after next week's race, I'm going to end up missing at least one, possibly two races. I've got some things I got to go do. I'm just not going to be able to do it. So we got to try to extend the points lead, as much as we can here. Yeah, I mean, you know me, any mile and a half track, I'm good. Any track, I'm fun, I'm okay to go to, but the mile and a half are the ones that I really like to, do the best.
Yeah, definitely your strong suits, man, and it definitely showed here again tonight. Able to bring home that second place finish, man. So congrats on that, GT. Before we let you get out of here, man, anybody want to send a shout out to?
Yeah, first of all, I want to say congratulations, Jeff. That was a heck of a run. Our car was beat up, from us causing that mayhem, so there wasn't no we could do for it. So congrats to him. Really want to thank Ryan for doing everything he does for the Cup League and stuff like that. Got to thank Michael Sheffield and Sheffield Graphics for everything they do. Of course, got to thank Mustang Week for coming on board as a sponsor. The event September 6th through the 12th, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Thank you boys up in the booth, and thank my teammates and everybody else on the track. And once again, my apologies to the 13 and 31 bonehead moved my part.
Well, I tell you what, buddy, great job on second place here tonight, and we will catch you next week at Pocono, man.
Okay, guys.
All right, that was GT Irizarry, your second place finisher here tonight. That Mustang Week 14, but we got a new winner. We asked ourselves, is something different going to happen here tonight? And we've seen it from Zab Motorsports once at Charlotte, and now we've seen Zab Motorsports pull something off again with their field driver, Jeff Carson. Let's hear what he has to say. Hey, Jeff, it's Zach up in the booth, man. You got a copy?
I got you.
Well, I tell you what, man, I am so impressed with this win. We were watching down at the end. We watched Curtis Preston and Hunter Hayward battling out for the win. Then Brandon Colley points out, man, look at the 81 Jeff Carson coming through on the new tires, man. You were able to drive up through, take the lead, drive away, and get the win. I mean, just putting the words, how does that feel?
Man, it feels awesome, man. Let's just say I saved a set of tires. I was hoping for a caution. The caution came. People are saying it was too early to take tires, but I went ahead and took them anyway, and I just drove back up to the front. Super exciting.
Yeah, coming down to the end there, did you really have to use multiple grooves, or did it kind of just use your, was it patience that got you there, like letting it come to you and get that set up off the corner, or did you kind of find some other little grooves to get around? Because them new tires definitely helped you with the speed, but still, this track being such one groove there and one, 3 and 4, it does have some options, but with one there, you can kind of get stuck behind people. You did a good job of getting through there quickly.
Yeah, on the new tires 1 and 2, sticking to the bottom was my line. I wanted to stick to it, and on the older tires, when they were coming off 1 and 2, they would drift up a little bit, so I would stick to the bottom and go underneath them. 3 and 4, again, bottom side on fresh tires, I could get a better runoff and drive off the corner on the bottom side and get around them. But as the tires wore on, 3 and 4, I kind of stayed in the middle a little bit to get a better run off the corner.
Yeah, you definitely could see that, man. You definitely worked very well to get back in position. It was great to watch. And then, really, we look back at Charlotte and your teammate and team owner there, Kevin Zabladil. He did this strategy of somewhat saving an extra set of tires during the stages, and it came out and played out somewhat of a similar way to him. Is this something you guys talk about as a team, or is this something you kind of did on your own?
Oh, we talk about it as a team, just like last week at Charlotte. Basically, I wanted to get him locked into playoffs, so I held back a little bit so you can get that lock in. This week, Hunter already had some wins, and I think he was already locked in. I was just going for it, and I just wanted to win.
Yeah, man, I tell you what, that was a fantastic battle between you guys, and what a call from you to save that set of tires and then make your way through the field there at the end. That was fantastic to watch. I mean, it was so exciting that I literally called the white flag one lap early. So I got a little bit ahead of the gun for myself.
It was pretty exciting. I think I went 3-4 wide at a couple times, and I was just, I hope it sticks. I hope it sticks. And the car stuck in the corner. And like I said, I just love racing with these guys. They're all clean, respectful, and I really enjoy racing with them.
Yeah, man, it's a great group of guys out here for sure, Jeff. And I tell you what, tonight you were able to put yourself on top of the leaderboard and be the Sheffield Graphics race winner, man. So congrats on that. But before we let you go and celebrate, man, anybody you want to send a shout to?
You guys for the awesome broadcast you guys do. The league owners, the admins, all of them, Steve, Trevor, Ryan, Jerry, all of them. I can't even think about all their names right now. And all the guys in this league, awesome to race with. Love race with them. I look forward to this day in and out every week.
Well, man, I tell you what, we do too up here in the booth, and it wouldn't be if you guys didn't put on such a show we do each week. So thank you very much, Jeff. Congrats on the win. Go celebrate this thing, man, and we'll catch you next week at Pocono.
All right, I'll see you then.
All right, man. You have a great night.
All right, you too.
All right, there you heard it. That was your Sheffield Graphics race winner here tonight of Jeff Carson. What a win for this guy, man. I'm telling you, he had a great run going all night, running up in the top 10. And then just to make that call to save that set of tires, love the strategy call from him. And he's able to bring the victory. But let's go ahead and pull the race results up. As there you see it, Jeff Carson bringing home his first victory here in the RSR Cup Series, as he was able to tame Kentucky tonight. Second's going to go to GT Irizarry. Third's going to be Hunter Hayward. Fourth's going to be Travis Everett. Fifth is Curtis Preston. Sixth going to be Anthony Younes. Seventh's going to go to Bob Fitzpatrick. Eighth, Stephen Baldwin. Ninth's going to be Trevor Massetti. 10th's going to go to Harold Watkins. 11th, Marc-Andre Thibodeau. 12th going to go to Andrew Little. 13th is Brock Potter. 14th is Nolan Potter. 15th going to go to Chad Biesinger. 16th, Kevin Dowd. 17th going to go to Matthew Rush. 18th, Tony Ludy. 19th going to be Nathan Campbell. 20th going to be David Hall. 21st is Junior Miller. 22nd is Kevin Zabladil. 23rd is Ryan Bean. 24th is Casey Kuntz. 25th is Adam Buzzio. 25th is Adam Buzzio. 26th is Kevin Sabilla. 27th, Dustin Stallings. 28th, Ryan Ezel. And rounding your field in the 29th position is James Catrone. As that is your race results tonight here from the RSR Cup Series at Kentucky. What a night here for the Kentucky 140, Brandon. We seen fireworks of a finish there coming down to the end. And, man, I tell you what, me as a fan up here in the booth, I can't be more than satisfied after that.
Absolutely not. It's kind of the stuff that you just dream about being able to see when you're watching a race. You know, guys duking it out, just so even on speed. You never know who's going to win. It could either one of them, any one of these guys, and then suddenly strategy comes into play. You think, you know, these guys are going to charge to the front, and then something happens and all of them get taken out, and then you're like, okay, we're back to square one, and then they come charging through the field again. It was awesome to see. Man, I can't remember the last time I saw a race at Kentucky that I was like, dang, this track's actually pretty good. So hats off to these guys in the league every week. Great show. Congrats to Jeff Carson going for a grind earlier and then coming back to win this thing in the Cup Series, man. I'm excited to get to Pocono and do it all over again.
I'm very excited to get to Pocono, man. That track also puts on one heck of a show with it being the Tricky Triangle. We'll see who can tame that next week, as Jeff Carson was able to bring home the victory here tonight. So congrats to him on that, and congrats to all the drivers out there for putting on a great show out here tonight in Kentucky. It was really, really fun. Not only the Cup Series, but the ARCA Series also here at the Evolution Racing Leagues. And thank you to the partners here of Sheffield Graphics or Nissan Central and ButtKicker. So, man, what a night. Let's send it up to our producer, Robert Moyer Jr. here to close out tonight and get ready for next week at Pocono here on Tuesday nights.
That is right. We'll be next Tuesday, Pocono with the ARCA cars here with these guys and the Cup cars. It's going to be fun to see what they can do with the Tricky Triangle. But, man, congratulations to Jeff again for getting the first victory here at RSR Cup Series here. It was great, man. What action-packed racing we had all night. Like you guys said, from the start to the finish, it was nothing but action-packed racing, strategy playing, new tires versus old tires, you name it. We had it. So make sure you go back and watch this stream on YouTube. And if this is the first time you're tuning in over on YouTube here, make sure you hit that like the video, and also share it with your friends and family on any social media platform of your choosing. And also don't forget to smash that subscribe button so you don't miss any of this awesome action that these guys put on week in and week out. But our next broadcast will be tomorrow night with Underdog Racing League when we go to, I forget where we're going to, I do apologize. But we will be live at 8:30 as we'll have Sam and Zach Hall calling the action with some truck. Oh, we're going to Talladega. That's right. We're going to some of Talladega with the trucks. So we'll see how that aero package works and get the input from Sam and Zach on how that all plays out. So we'll be live at 8:30. But until then, hopefully everybody gets a good night's sleep, and we will catch you Wednesday evening. Until then, God bless everybody. We love you all. Peace out.
Bye, everybody.
Yes.
It's plain and simple, dear. I'll still be here when you're gone. You gather souvenirs, but I will never be your pawn. Your pawn. Your pawn. My love wasn't ever a game. I lay my cards out on the table. There's nothing to gamble away, but I can promise that you'll never be the same. But I can promise that you'll never be the same. You can double down. I'll still be a proud haven for your love is never love. A river through your bluff, I will be enough, enough, enough. My love wasn't ever a game. I lay my cards out on the table. There's nothing to gamble away, but I can promise that you'll never be the same. Something you can never take, but it's not uncommon to forsake. Got a chronic urge to complicate. Think of love like a friend, not an enemy. Feeling I have nothing left to hide. Hard to say, but you know it when it's right. Keep it simple now, living it before I die. Think of love like a friend, not an enemy. My